like power structures in Faerun on the Sword Coast have all aligned to basically thwart Thay. So Thay is kind of this like this ultimate evil kind of thing where like people just instinctively, it's the same thing as like being a paladin of Tiamat. If you're from Thay, you must be an evil person.
Oops.
So Thay throughout history has tried several times to like take over the world because they do believe that they are like might equals right, and they believe that they're doing the right thing by like basically allowing all magic to practice, even though necromancy is the practiced like favorited art. All the red wizards are necromancers. Every form of magic is still practiced within Thay. They just believe that death magic is an unnecessary taboo. They think that death magic is literally a moral thing that should have been explored, but because everyone else was too afraid, the entire world suffered. Um, that's all the common knowledge. Thay is actually built on these great plateaus. So if you look at the map, these plateaus on the edges here, those are hundreds upon hundreds of feet tall. They're as tall as high mountains, and then on top of it is this just flat plateau, and then there's another plateau called Greater Thay, I believe. I can't see the map right now, but and that's where like Thaymount is. Thaymount is the capital, and it's the highest point of this plateau.
So sort of like mesas.
Yes, they are like mesas. That's
Okay.
exactly right. Yep.
Okay.
And then there's all these other cities and everything else that we'll learn about as we get into the game. But that's all the common knowledge that everybody would know about Thay. Um, you would just also know that Thay is incredibly dangerous. It's just for people outside of Thay, Thay is incredibly dangerous.
The people themselves in Thay, would we know would we stand out because of our ethnicities,
You would.
our
That
races?
that's a
Okay.
great question. I was about to exactly. So there are no dwarves in Thay.
Oops.
Um, there
Here
are
it is
also
now.
no turtles, and there's no turtles in Thay. As a matter of fact, Thay is mostly humanoid. Some elves, although the elves that are in Thay generally like basically have very specific tattoos and markings to like basically show that they are of Thay. Um, so yes, you guys are going to stand out.
Are there Tritons?
No.
Okay.
No, it's mostly humans, humanoids. It's mostly elves,
Just
humans.
because I came from the Sea of Fallen Stars, which is
Yep.
relatively.
You are close, like if you look,
Even
yeah.
as slaves, like we couldn't like just like pretend we're Macmorn slaves.
That's
Are we doing
that's
get help?
that's exactly how you can get out of this. So the
Okay.
unfortunate piece to this, when you walk into the city, you're going to notice that a lot of the what they would consider monstrous races, like orcs and maybe turtles, yes, are definitely like kept as slaves. And so Thay in general has no qualms with also just enslaving its own people too within the basin. So if they have access to humans that don't know magic, for instance, those can be slaves as well.
Just as a question, Athkatla's part of Athkatla's pantheon or history is that slaves are still allowed in Athkatla. In this world that you have right now, are slaves allowed in Athkatla?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's. I mean, how much do you know about how much do you know about that area though?
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, so the biggest difference between Thay is that the slaves are also currency and life is currency, and it's like so. I'll give you an example, and this is the biggest difference. So even in somewhere like Cormyr is allowed to have indentured servitude and house slaves, and that's because with their like old wars with like the Dale lands and the Symbia and all of that, like basically they're allowed to essentially have these packs as long as those were like people that were from like the previous wars and you grew up in that generation. It's still very unfair and still awful, but for the most part, it's not like widespread. Thay might as well be the Underdark. It's the
Okay.
only other place where like slaves can be sold as currency. Everyone that isn't powerful theoretically could have been a slave. They don't have like even the Drow will not enslave themselves. Thay doesn't care.
Okay.
Yeah. Worse, sometimes as a slave, you don't get to like be released after death. They just raise you back up again and make you servants forever. So you will see that as well.
Nice. I
Yeah,
like this place.
it can be a bad place. So
Okay.
Henry, take
And
notes.
since there's no 5e Thay, we may never get one.
Oh,
but
don't worry.
hopefully
I
we will.
know.
Yeah. We will see.
Could you imagine if this was released today?
Yeah, I mean,
Good point.
honestly, Wizards. I mean, this is a very it's like kind of like core to the whole thing because of the Red Wizards, and Wizards isn't afraid to like have it in there because it is part of the Adventuring League. They just you can't go to the cities, obviously, and there is an entire module that's built off Thay, but again, they don't let you go in the cities. We're starting in a city, so. But yeah. You'll see though. This is an awesome place. Now here's the other thing that you'll be able to see from where you are. So all of these are 20-mile hexes, but you are literally right outside the city when you teleported. You didn't get to go inside. So the way these hexes work is right now you are 20, 40, 60 plus the hex you're in. So you are 80 miles from the edge of that plateau, which I can show you here. So this is where you guys are, and then the plateau that I'm talking about is right here. So everywhere within this edge that you can see is this very, very large prismatic looking dome that is surrounding all of what looks like, as far as you can see, this plateaued area of Thay. It's so high that it actually escapes into the skyline too. You can't see the top of the dome. Now, outside of this city, let me show you what it looks like. I have this up, but I got sidetracked, so hold on one second. Let me show you what the city looks like that you're looking inside. And by the way, now that we're on an overlay map, you can literally go anywhere you want. It's just keep in mind, these are not like right next to each other.
Cool. I'm
They're
going
20
back to the Sea of Fallen Stars. See you guys later.
Yeah, it looks close, doesn't it? It's hundreds of miles away. Yeah.
It's right there. I can walk
Yeah.
to it.
I can see it from my house.
That is my house.
Umbra owes us a back door.
You'll get it one day. If we ever go back to that dreadful place.
Did we managed to get some ironwood, right?
No.
No,
I don't think so.
didn't.
No, because you were gonna wait until we were leaving, but we didn't really know we were leaving, so we kind of just got our stuff and left.
It was all kind of a blur there at the end.
Yeah,
Plus, all the pieces
that's why I didn't do the recraft.
all of the pieces that make up my house are too big to put in a backpack anyway. So this is what this world is like.
Not all of it. Normally there's more green. And water.
I don't mind a little less green.
Holy shit, we're out of the tomb.
Kieran looks to Erastus to give him a high five.
Yeah, and I am sorry, guys. Keep talking amongst yourself. I don't know what's going on yet, but I'm fixing it.
Chris, do you know what time of the day it would be?
Yeah, it's late afternoon. The sun is out, by the way. So the sun is out. This is the first time you would have seen sunlight in a while. The sun is out. It's around like 74 degrees. So it's. I mean, it seems like it's probably not the summer right now, but you're not totally sure. You don't really know what time frame you're in right now.
High five pyramid and then begin to roll in the dirt. Go to home, sweet dirt.
Okay. All right, finally. Okay. By the way, I think somebody might have their speakers on. I can hear an
might be
echo. Okay. So sorry, guys. Hold on. Jesus.
Gage, can I borrow your headset now that I think about it?
I promise this will be done in 1 second.
So you all had books then. It's not just me that you went inside.
I mean, I think everybody but Sia would have gone inside their books, right?
Yes, I suppose murderers don't get books.
There we go. Okay, let me know if you guys can see this. I'm going to do it in Discord. This is important because so what you actually see is a city on top of these eroded out cliffs, and on the top where the city is, where there's buildings and stuff, you do see greenery, but where you're at right now, it's complete desert. You've never really seen anything like this, and it's pretty beautiful. And come on, Discord. All right. You can see that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. There is no
Oh, here we go.
There is no obvious entrance to the city from where you're at. However, if there's a small hill that you can go up over to the right, and it looks like there's an entrance into the city there. The city is built like this throughout. It actually does reach out into a small basin of water as well. Let me show you on the map where that is, because I don't think it's represented. Hold on 1 second.
Is anybody there, or is my internet dead again?
We're
Nope,
here.
we're here.
Macmorn!
Macmorn.
All right. Yeah, so within this area here is a small basin. You're actually in this hex. I just didn't want to copy the thing. This is the hex you're in. However, in this top right corner here, there's actually like an entire basin of water surrounding this. Even though it's not like represented on the map. It's not very big. It's less. It's basically only encompasses the city. The city is less than a mile wide, but it is strange because everywhere else surrounding this area is just like this red clay desert, essentially.
It's Georgia.
You don't have to go into the city, by the way. So you have a couple options. What you can do is, if you want to go ahead and take, it's gonna take you an entire day to traverse 20 miles if you're doing it cautiously. You do have to like have a navigator and make survival checks to go through it, because we are running into a situation where it might get like dangerous at night. Also, you don't know what like I'm sure you'll be able to figure out your water and food situation, but that will come into play too, depending on how long you travel. And then if you travel consistently without resting, you do have to take exhaustion. But generally within a day, you can do 20 miles on flat land. So you can go one hex essentially. And by the way, you can't actually move the token too. I think everyone actually has access to move it. So this is your first major decision, but you can, if you want to explore the city, or if you want, you can try to travel and figure this out.
I'll be honest, I'm quite interested to see what the city holds.
It looks like it holds death.
That's what I was gonna say.
Now, if you go
what
and look at your
range?
books, the other thing that the map is going to highlight here for you, so that you are going to be able to see the major cities around you. You're also going to know an approximate distance now of how far away they are. Like I said, you're actually in the square here, so it's 20, 40, 60. So the nearest city is 80 feet west that way, and then it's only 60. I'm sorry, 80 feet, 80 miles west that way, and then 60 miles north to Sakelamar, which are the closest ones.
I-
So we see the prismatic dome over the whole thing.
You do. It's massive. It's the only reason you can see it. It is a massive prismatic dome.
Is there any way of getting out of here?
I hope so, because I don't intend to spend as much time in Thay as anyone else, I guess.
Which is the quickest way out?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're willing to take a nosedive off of a cliff, that might be the fastest way, but we still have to get out of this barrier.
Well, I'm not willing to take a nosedive off the cliff.
What does the barrier look like? Does it look like it like prevents teleportation? Would I have any guess as to what it does?
Well, you're not close enough to do an Arcana check on it, but I mean, it does look like it's protecting or surrounding the entire area around it. I would definitely let you guess that there's something going on with protection, and maybe it is something as easy as you just can't teleport in or out. It could also be providing a beneficial effect, potentially, but I think it's a safe assumption to just assume that it's something that's protecting Thay.
Well, I'm no
Just because
stranger
the
to
whole
this.
map is red, by the way, does not mean this is all red clay. But you just happen to be in an area that happens to have red clay in this district. And if you look around to your horizon, it does look like there are areas to the north and to the west that where the desert stops. You can see hints of greenery and other things.
We still have all
So-
our money, right?
Yeah, everything that you had in the tomb you have now. That's correct.
Which is objectively, for a common person, a shitload amount of money.
Yes. Yep. It
Why don't
is
we
a
just hire
lot of money.
carriage, guys?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
My limited understanding of this place is A is a more robust Luskin. And if you have any sense in Luskin, you don't get a carriage if you don't need it and you have 2 good working legs. It signifies wealth and that you might be a person of importance. And this is anywhere like Luskin, which sounds like it might be worse than that. I think it'd be best to not do that, at least at this point.
What about a horse? Horse?
I don't mean to be rude, Erastus, but could a horse carry you? You're a hefty boy.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Can your little legs fit around the saddle?
I'm 5 foot tall. I'm taller than Gretna.
How much do
My
you
little
actually?
legs can't fit around the saddle.
I could have swore you weighed like 450 pounds, correct,
I
Erastus?
thought he was 350.
300.
300.
Oh, 300? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know if a horse could. I genuinely don't know. CEO and I are both at a loss for how much a horse could actually carry.
More than that.
Is that without gear?
But
That's
why
with
would you
gear.
want to?
Oh,
I mean, there's still
okay.
us. We gotta walk too.
In real
Yeah.
life, a horse can safely carry 300 pounds. Once you get over that, it starts to become dependent on the horse. But this is a real thing. It's an easy stat to look up.
I'm
Gear
usually
on,
doing good.
with gear on, Erasmus is 390 pounds.
Yep. So you'll just have to see.
uh,
It may not be a bad idea, I admit, to get a horse, to get a cart. Nothing fancy, but I think it'll depend on what we decide to do. Because honestly, my intentions are, well, to leave here as soon as possible. Is a mighty distance from Daggerford, and I don't want to think about how long it's going to take to get there. So, my intentions are to leave here unless, well, leave here as soon as possible unless, the party has business here
I don't want to be in
besides
Thay.
provisions.
Let's go to the ocean.
Well, what business did you have inside the tomb? Now that we're out, do you have any business you have to attend to? Talk to your employer, perhaps?
Well, my employer, that's a great question. The group's employer seems to be dead, and his apprentice also seems to be dead. So, unless we have any leads on business with you know who, I don't really see a point in us staying here too long.
Yeah, let's leave.
I want to go into that city.
Oh,
Look at it. It looks so cool.
this is like
I've never been
an
in a city
experience
that
with a
size.
city and the first one that wasn't actively trying to kill you. You don't have a lot to go off of right now.
Exactly, so it can only get better from here.
Just
Um,
just stick with us. You'll see a lot better.
Oh, fine, big boss.
we
Mom.
need a plan if we're gonna do that because, from what I can gather, if they find us, they're just gonna, either kill us or enslave us.
Who's they?
They, the people who live here.
I can just.
So it would take you guys roughly 3 days on foot to get to the edge of the plateau. It's 64 miles. You'd have to kind of walk for 18 hours a day and sleep. If you do it longer than that, you have to take levels of exhaustion. 18 hours is really pushing it, but considering the severity that you want to get out of here, I'll allow it. You can't do 18 hours forever, but for now you can.
Yeah, but if we do that, then nobody can take watch at night,
That is correct.
Oh, can.
that's
and
a
that's
problem.
very dangerous.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
That is. Looking at the map, it looks like, and I could be wrong, I'm not someone who's traveled extensively, save the tomb, but it looks like it might be easiest to go over to. I'm gonna butcher it, so correct me when I mispronounce this. Anchor? Acker? I don't know. Go there and then go down. Either
Yeah.
that or to go to one of the rivers.
It's Anchor, by the way, but that was very close.
Anchor.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anchor.
Going down to
Some people
Anchor
even say
and
it's
then.
Anchor, so that's fine.
Just
See,
catch
I
a
have.
boat.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking is we either catch a boat or we just go down by Anchor and down that way.
Yep.
Or it
So
looks like there's two rivers.
that would be 87 miles. So it's 87 miles, so less than a week of walking.
We'd have to go to a coastal city and then charter a boat. And if we want to go somewhere nice, I have read a book about Symbia, and I heard it was nice, and they have a lot of treats there.
I thought we were going to Daggerford. I thought we were making like as much of a beeline to Daggerford as we could, but to me it seems, looking at the map, we'd be better off going on foot to Murgham.
What business do you have in Daggerford?
Her brother's there.
Yeah.
You have to pass through Symbia to get there. Well, if you want to go the safe way.
Well, even then, I think
We can
and
stop
I
there. We have to stop
appreciate-
somewhere.
Yeah, we will. And I appreciate the group's willingness to work with me in finding my brother, but now that we're out of the tomb and, we're on the same plane of existence as my brother again, I think we need to be more realistic in our planning. Getting out of Thay, I think, is the first and most important step in this, but I think we also need to consider what we need to do in order to address a certain god and his subservience.
Eh,
You don't want to even go into the city for like a night. Erastus, think about all the cool contraptions there might be in a magical city like that.
I am so tired of cool contraptions. I just want normal again.
What kind of artificer are you? Tired
Oh,
of
why-
contraptions. Like I'd be tired of spells one day.
I'm gonna bonk you on the head.
Preposterous.
Stop.
Don't bonk
All
me.
right.
We need-
All right, Spurt there. Calm down.
I'm not gonna jump on the head. I'm just gonna bonk him with a wrench.
we need a plan, and my plan is, Macmorn, I'll be your slave. That's my plan.
I think
What?
we'd all have to be his slaves.
Mm-hmm. Pierre, does Pierrevan look human? I
don't
don't
have
know.
to.
No, he does not look human. However, with a disguise kit, he could. He would look like a very attractive human. It's easy with a disguise kit for him to look human.
Or I
have
could be Pierre's
one.
slave.
We all would rather be
I'd
Pierre's
be
slaves.
so quick to jump at the notion.
No offense, Macmorn, you're good looking too.
I don't
My
have to be the
charisma's
slave.
higher.
You're so charming.
That's true. Umbra doesn't have to be. I think in my disguise kit, I might
Yeah.
have some colored contacts. So that could maybe work.
I can also
my
polymorph
concern
you into a
is-
human.
Oh, that's true. You can do that. And I have disguise self, which wouldn't last as long.
As long there's wizards here. Can't wizards see through that sometimes?
I'll take
Sometimes.
Erastus.
I mean, I
as
don't know
my
that.
slave.
I have no idea.
So I'm gonna
But
stick
it's
with
worth a
Macmorn
shot.
because he's like the real human here.
What
Yeah.
the fuck
Well,
does
the
that
thing
mean?
is, too,
I'm a real human.
what does what mean?
Oh, okay.
But even if we were to all go into the city, as slaves, I don't know how they're treated here. So just because Macmorn, Puravan, and Umbra can get somewhere, it doesn't mean we're going to be allowed to.
Don't worry, I'll treat you like dirt.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it. I've
You're
been
not
treated that
worried.
way my whole life. It's not new.
What's that?
I will be a very good slave.
Maybe it could be a circus.
I thought the point was not to draw attention to ourselves. And we're gonna go as a circus.
No, that's a bad idea.
I mean, we're already halfway there, to be honest.
Not
Look
wrong.
at this.
We are a full-fledged circus, and you shouldn't pretend otherwise.
Does
You
mean
could
it's
do
not
it.
saying a Loxodon and we'll have the full kit?
Hide
I
in
mean, we could be
plain sight.
slaves and a circus.
Slave circus.
Yeah, slave circus. It's not a bad idea. Except I don't know if they even care about entertainment here. I imagine they would, in a
That's a good
like
point.
cruel sort of way.
Well, that's what I'm worried about is, I'm willing to take my, what's the phrase? My lumps as I get them, but even if we were to stay there for a night to just gain provisions to move on, I think it might be dangerous just because we don't know how they do treat slaves. And, I'd hate to get separated from our human or humanoid companions. Something happened, and then we cause a scene, and then we're run out, and then it's a bigger issue. Do we have enough provisions to get anywhere right now?
I just want to get into, like, a library. Look at it. I've never seen a city that big.
Well, I mean, if a library, that could be interesting. But if we go to any port or any town we go to, is the same as going into a city. So we would have to still have some kind of plan
Right.
as to how we're going to be presenting ourselves.
That is true.
Maybe we should just observe for a bit. Just see what they actually do.
Well, we had a pretty good cover as a traveling band of masons. Maybe you're all slaves of some sort that all work for me and, Macmorn.
Or
It may be pure.
That's a good plan too.
That's not bad.
can we
I
just
do.
not be here?
Well, this right here seems kind of safe at the moment to at least talk.
I mean, like, this isn't my. I don't like this area.
There is what looks like fresh water in front of you, by the way. It does look like it's some kind of an oasis, but there's water there. So you're fortunate in that respect.
And I can make food.
I walk up to it.
Oh,
Yep. And so you walk up to it and you feel it. It's not very shallow. Meaning that you like put your hand in and you expect that at least the first part would be somewhat shallow, but it doesn't seem like it. It's very, very clear. So as you start staring down to look at it, and it's very cool to the touch, it looks like it's bottomless, even though it's incredibly clear.
Can
How
I sit in it?
unsettling.
What would you like to do?
Can
I wonder if there's
stick
any.
my arm in it?
Yeah, if you put your entire arm into it, it is cool. It's you're not be able to reach the bottom. You can see your arm very clearly as you start putting it in. Um,
I want to keep a watch out because if there's a nice oasis somewhere, that means usually people are going to come by.
This is nice. This is fun.
Yeah, you're on the outskirts of the city, and it looks like the entire city is covered in this strange oasis with clear water.
I start splashing.
I
Yep.
take 2 steps away from Erastus as he starts splashing.
I'm with you.
I wouldn't advise that.
Yeah, okay. This is not smart.
because you don't like getting wet, or because you don't like seeing Erastus have fun for the first time in the last 50 years?
No, because the
I don't see a
commotion might
bottom.
attract.
I don't know what lives in a bottomless lake, but I can't imagine anything good or helpful.
Yeah, it's strange that you can't see the bottom given that it's so clear. So you imagine you can see the sides, and it looks like it's just a complete drop off, as if there's like a huge like meteor impact or something that's underneath all of this. But it is startling how clear the water seems to be.
I will speak in Aquan and ask if there's any dryads or
Yeah.
naiad, or which one it is. That
Naiads.
that's like they can understand Aquan.
Right, but do you
Normally
want to
just
put your head under the water and talk in the water?
sure.
Okay. Yeah, as you do that, you actually do not see or hear any kind of response. And as you put your head into the water, you get a better look. And yeah, you can't see the bottom. And it is incredibly clear.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna drink a big mouthful of water and then pull my
Yep.
head back up from underneath the water and just turn to everyone and say, "Yeah, it's seems to be safe. No,
And it's fresh water.
no naiads though, so that kind of sucks. But
Yeah, it's
know.
fresh water as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna fill up my water skin while we're here.
Okay.
So, I guess we could put it to a vote. Do we want to go ahead and impersonate a group of Masons and act as the human slaves, or we want to kind of just rest here for a moment, get our bearings, and move towards one of the water cities of Thay?
I can just wrap myself in my armor and you could play me off as a something else. I don't know. Look like brother when I do it.
I vote travel
Who?
overland, avoid city.
Oh, you
I-
haven't met him, have you, Umbra? He's
He will.
Erastus, what do they call him?
Slag pile. That's what they call him right now. He's a
I
melted
don't
pile
think
of.
that's it.
That's what he turned into.
Alright, so your
I
brother's
don't
a
think
slag.
that's it. He's a metal person. He's not a tinkering like what Erastus makes, but he's a person.
Is
made
this
of
you
metal,
genuinely
but
not
looks like a
remembering what it's
contraption?
called, or is CO
No,
not
this
remembering?
is CO.
Okay.
I don't remember if Brother told us what he was. I don't know if he told us he was a Warforged, but
Okay.
CO, assuming he didn't tell us what he was, is trying to cobble together an image of what he is.
Yeah.
Made of metal and depression.
He's a
Same.
nice guy.
Metal under
I vote
pressure.
to avoid the cities, but you know,
Yeah.
um,
I also vote that.
Yeah, I think it might be best. And I mean, there have
I'm
to be
sorry,
cities
Umbra.
along the way, but I say avoid them while we can.
Well, if we head down to Murgum, then we can avoid the cities altogether. I think.
Let's just head to the nearest place with a boat and get on it.
How easy do you think that's going to be?
Yeah.
Either finding the lich
Well,
that
there are
runs this
two
place-
rivers. Well, there's two rivers that I'm seeing on the map. One to the, I'm assuming up is north, so the east.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, there's one river system to the east. I imagine we could catch some sort of boat down to the sea, or we could just go down the bluffs to Xantor.
I like that idea. We go
Mm,
and then we get on a boat, and then we go to Symbia or Cormir, and I only ever went as far as Alterel, but I know that that road leads to Cormir if you go far enough near the Thunder Peaks.
Are we even able to get past this barrier?
That's the other question.
that yeah. That's
So
why
can-
again the river to the east. I don't know. That appeals to me more because there's less people that way. But I don't know what kind of things we could find in the desert. You know.
Yeah, and the thing is too, Chris, you said that the barrier, from what we could see, it stops at the bluffs, correct?
At the at the plateau area. That's correct.
Okay. Well,
Yep, it
don't really
encompasses it
know.
like a dome. It looks like, but of course you can't tell until you get much closer. But it does look
Right.
like it encompasses it like a dome.
Because that's what I'm thinking is that it doesn't seem like there are any cities southeast after we get on that river. So I don't know if there's going to be a guaranteed way to get past the dome. But if we go the other way down the bluffs, it looks like there's another city down there. So there has to be some sort of guaranteed passage to get past this barrier. But again, that takes us through more cities.
More people.
Yeah.
Either way, it's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Take your
That's
pick.
for sure. I'd rather take our chances with the east, personally, but I understand if it's more secure and the party's more confident going to the west instead.
Anybody got any other ideas?
I
I
mean,
kind
for
of like
better,
the east too, but I know Umbra. If we're gonna hit anybody, it'll be to the west probably.
I'm not good at hitting people, but
Not
I'll
hitting,
try.
I mean meeting.
Ultimately, you're the only people from this world that I know, so for better or for worse, I'm with you. I'd prefer to go into the city, but if you want to go east, then go east. I can provide shelter at night and some possible arcane surveillance.
That'd
That's
be
cool.
very useful.
Pan, what do you think?
I've not heard good things about Fae. I grew up in the Sea of Fallen Stars, and everything that I've ever heard about Fae has not been good. I would prefer to leave as soon as possible.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Henri. Pandemonium. One of the things that you do know about Fae is that they literally eat your people. So they
Oh,
fish
that's
your
good.
people out of the sea. So yeah, you would know that
Detail.
you would know that you would absolutely know that this is not a great place even for you, because that's one of the things that their ships will do on occasion when they get out to the Sea of Fallen Stars is the Fae has no problem with eating intelligent species.
That's terrifying.
Awesome.
Pan fried.
Sushi.
I just wanted to make sure that was accurate before I said it, but it is. So yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, so the people in Thay tend to eat tritons. So
my
I
God.
would really like to leave as soon as possible.
That
That's terrible.
sounds like it's for the best.
I don't want to prevent anybody from, and he's going to be looking at Umber as he says this. I don't want to prevent anybody from gaining new items or abilities. I will most likely be staying outside of cities. I don't trust the people of Thay.
Well, I mean,
I think
anywhere
need
we
to
go
find,
is.
a 5-foot long piece of like loaf of bread and some tartar sauce.
I'm not going into that
Oh,
city.
Yeah, I mean, if they eat tritons, who
They'll eat
knows?
turtles.
Who knows?
Yeah. So it sounds like we should take the most direct route out of here. And I think that would be trying to make our way over to the east. Even if that means we have to go through one more city in order to get there.
Okay. All right. I am gonna let whoever's gonna lead the group. Do you guys want to do a group survival check, or would you rather just do individual roles? The advantage with the group role is that you pick a navigator, and that navigator gets to roll first, and then depending on how well they do, depends on how many people need to pass and succeed to make it the entire hex.
I kind of like that way. That sounds like fun, but it's again up to everybody.
So you would just choose the best person that you think is the best navigator, and they would make an initial roll, and then everybody rolls a survival check.
I am going to, while we're doing this, and while we're figuring this out, even if we start walking, spend an hour to create calligrapher's tools so that we can help keep on the right track.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. So explain to me what you're kind of hoping to gain, because
It's a feature I can magically create a set of artisans tools.
oh, okay, in that case it's
over
not
the course
then.
of an hour. And
Okay, cool.
just to help it keep us on a path, like
Gotcha.
nav-
You're going to use an ability to basically create these. And what is it? How does it work? Are you getting these from, like, are you using them from simple tools and creating them?
tools. You can magically create one set of tools in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you. The creation requires 1 hour of uninterrupted work, which can coincide with a short or long rest. Through the
Cool.
power of magic, the tools are not magical and they vanish when you use the feature again.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Cool. Very cool.
Help keep us on track in case we get lost.
Yep.
Well, I think I might actually. Oop, actually, I can't find it. I thought I had cartographer's set from the tomb, but I don't have an official cartographer set. I just had map
Did you get him from
makings.
a shifty gnome?
I don't remember who we got it from. We got it from whoever was in that trading center near the Arcane Brotherhood.
Well, let's get walking.
Okay. So who wants to be the navigator?
Not
I
I.
have a +3 to survival.
What you roll on survival?
Yeah. So essentially, I mean, generally the way that it works is that anyone who's actually like, in the meta term profession of this, but anyone who really knows what they're doing when it comes to walking across deserts in particular, or even like grasslands or whatever, that thinks they're not going to get lost and that can help the party through this is the best person. Generally that means the best person, of course, making a wilderness or survival check, and then depending on how well you do on your initial roll depends on how many people need to pass or fail.
Pierre and Erastus are the only, or maybe Gretna are the only ones that's really traveled.
I haven't traveled that much, but I'm pretty wise.
I'm a pirate, so this is
I
the
have a-
wrong place for me.
I have a +3 for survival, but that's all I got really.
All
Really?
right. Maybe I'll do it. My
Okay.
dwarven.
Gretna, do not roll. You're going to get a 15. I'm using a
Oh,
portent.
portents.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that a 15
So you got
flat, or
an
is that
8.
a 15 plus?
No. She gets a 15 plus. So whatever
So
you
15
modify.
plus
your
your mod.
roll is automatically a 15.
Okay, that's a 19 then.
I will
Okay.
Flash of Genius
Oh,
that
wow.
to
All
a
right. So now everybody go ahead and make a survival check.
Flash of Genius her roll to a 22.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yep,
thought we were
everybody-
doing the navigator.
Oh, I thought we were doing it. Oops.
No,
alright.
we are. So this is the way it works. So yes, basically when you roll high like that, it just means now that it's almost an auto guarantee. We just have to make sure that's the case.
Okay, so do I have to roll again?
No, you don't. Gretna, you already
Okay.
passed. Yours
Got
counts as a pass.
I got an
Oh,
18.
Jesus.
4.
Oh,
That's
geez, a nat
fine.
one?
Erastus got a nat 1.
That's fine
13.
too.
He's looking down at
Plus-
his tools. And...
How
12.
many
he's
people
too
got
close.
under a 10 though? How many people got under a 10?
2 people.
All right, so then you still pass. So, yeah,
Wait.
that's fine.
Oh
think
shit!
it's
I'm on
this way.
Mozilla. Hang on.
Yeah, Sio's never traveled,
Okay,
and
yeah.
she's trying to help guide Erastus while he's tinkering.
Yep. It does two. So the navigator does two things in this case in the group check because you're not familiar with where you're going, and because also this is actually desert right now. It does two things. Number one, it has the ability to lower the DC. Now the DC is only going to be a 10. It also lowers how many people have to actually pass this entire thing because there's a lot of things that can happen. It's not just if you don't like get there the whole way. There's actually a lot more conditions, and that's what we're checking for.
Okay, so first I just gotta ask everybody: you want to head towards Pyridos, or you want to head towards the space, the river, in between the two bluffs, in between the bluffs? So, in other words, you want to go like northeast or southeast? Hello?
Well,
Southeast to the whatever that is, channel.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we're
Yeah.
heading then.
But
Wait,
you'll
so we're heading
you'll see when this
southeast?
becomes relevant, and I'll start pointing these
Where
off
did you want to go?
as they go through this. But there is much more to these checks than the normal group check, and just keep that in mind. I'm using these for all kinds of things, like if someone hurts themselves during this travel, like all kinds of stuff. So just keep that in mind. That's why in this case it is kind of important to have one person lead if you are good at it.
All right, but wait. First, I'm sorry, but I don't think we decided. Do we want to go to Pyridos, or do we want to go to that split in the mountains there in the bluff?
Well, I'm worried we might have to go to Pyridos to get passage on a ship that hopefully will go downriver to the ocean, just because if there is some sort of, I don't know, arcane ritual or something to get past the barrier, if we're not on a ship, we may not be able to get past it. So I think we may have to go to Pyridos, but I mean,
Well, then Umbra kind of gets his wish, right?
sort of.
With the everybody okay with that, or you want to go straight down?
Mm. No, may not be a bad idea to go to Pyridos, just so we can make sure we have relatively safe travel, but it might also give us a starting point to figure out what to do about a certain chaotic god and any of their servants. Because a lot's changed in 50 years, I imagine. So if we're truly going to go forward and, try and address that issue since we're no longer in the tomb, it might be good to find a library and try and get a starting point from there.
Okay, Pan, you okay with that?
I don't feel very safe going into the city. I will most likely stay outside of the city while the rest of you go in.
We can't get a boat then.
With you.
Well, we're not going to leave someone behind. We either
No,
all
of
go
course
in
not.
or we all stay out.
I don't trust the people of Thay.
Then I think we should head southeast then. I don't want to make the wrong decision here, but
Right.
Does anybody have a way to? This is out of character. Does anybody have a way to disguise Pan?
Yes.
I only have a disguise kit, and I only have disguise. Oh, you have polymorph.
I have polymorph. I can polymorph you
Umbra's got
into
this.
whatever kind of human you want.
Is
Height.
that how?
For an
Does
hour.
polymorph
For
work
an
that way
hour.
though?
I
no, it could be. But you could be a creature. You could be like a pig or something.
Yeah, you could
Oh,
be
that's
a
right. Gotta be a
pet,
creature.
I can
and I
cast.
have disguise self, but that's limited.
To put my armor up, people normally think I'm not even a real person.
I could probably morph you into like a rabbit or something and just have you.
For only an hour, though.
Yeah, just enough to get into the
Right.
city.
Yeah, but we don't know how long it'll take to be in the city.
Yeah.
You should never plan on something only taking an hour.
Oh, well, an idea. I know it's not a fantastic idea in this area, but maybe we could keep some of the party outside of the city, downriver, and then a group of us could go into the city, charter some sort of small boat, and then go downriver, pick everyone up.
Are we going to ask the captain to do that?
Wait,
Mm,
Matt,
Max
can't
the
you,
captain?
Matt, can't you like take care of a boat? We just buy the boat.
We'd have to buy
How
it,
much
but
a
I don't know
boat
how much
would
those go
cost?
for.
An ocean-faring boat? Enough to
I think
get
all
on-
of you would know at this point that. Actually, can you remind me how much gold do you have exactly?
As a group,
Lots.
Hang on. I'm going in the bag of holding now.
3
Please.
million.
I have been in the.
CO personally has 6 gold.
I have 150.
I have 10.
Apparently we have 10,000 in the bag.
Right.
What?
That's
Okay.
I thought that was true. Yeah. So 10,000 is actually enough to buy a small ship-bearing boat that actually has enough crew for like 12 people.
Wait, who
So
has the bag?
I do.
Okay,
I
yeah.
also have
I
an
give it
idea
to
plan.
whoever wants to look at it. I don't
it's
care.
also enough to buy a small tavern. So I mean,
Mm.
boats are obviously more expensive usually, depending if they're useful. Like if they're actually like seaworthy enough to like actually travel, and you have enough to buy with around 9,000 gold a seaworthy travel boat with some
mean-
very bare bones crew.
Wait,
I mean,
Crit-
Pan,
Let's
Yep.
just stop here and make a tavern and live happily ever after.
Go ahead.
I don't think that'll happen.
It's-
But Pan,
was-
if we
what's
got
up,
a boat,
Erastus?
couldn't you just latch onto the bottom of it?
I could.
I could do.
I could wait
Alright.
in the river for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Pen,
Only
I have
nobody
a
saw it.
question.
Disguised.
Can't
normally-
we just grab a boat that's going downriver? Just take it.
You want to be pirates?
No.
Yeah, hi.
I mean,
Oh, I
as
can't
a
like
group.
this.
pirate.
I would do it.
That
This
door
seems-
says pirate. Do you think there's a pirate
Are
in
we
there?
really becoming pirates?
Chris,
Is this the
I
best
am a
plan?
pirate.
Yeah, go ahead. What Erastus?
before I forget, I take out Replier and I try to send a message to Kino.
You're gonna
Yep.
make me make con saves.
Again.
I don't.
Again.
We're
Yeah, what
close
do you
in
want to
time,
say to
man.
Kino? What do you want to say?
Just that we made it out of the tomb. We didn't kill a Sararak. How are you doing?
I will actually let you answer in this one. It's going to happen for you next session, Kino, obviously, but you can answer back. Just one answer until all the stuff happens.
I will. I want to ask Replier if it's ever been to this plane of existence. What I mean, Faerun.
Yeah.
Is it still not talking to me?
No. Replier doesn't say anything, but Kino's going to be able to respond to you. So you can message him as Kino if you want and give him a simple answer, and then
I'm
we'll
also
go
going to say
through.
where we're at.
What? Why?
Because so are we walking?
All right, which way? Pyridos? Or to the
Um,
bluffs?
I think Pyrrhos. I
Okay.
know this will sound odd coming from me of all people, but I'm morally opposed to pirating a ship in the sense that we attack anyone and overtake it.
There's nobody here who's innocent.
There's always people who are innocent. I point to Umbra.
What about me? Hello?
I think anything we
Umbra.
take from people here, they're evil.
I mean, the same could be said about anyone from Luskin, but I mean, the people I knew and ran with, they were good people.
It wasn't called the
If the
domains of
party
Pleasant.
insists on it,
We'll test
Yeah,
them.
we
We'll
might want
send
to,
Pan out, and if they try to eat her, we'll take the boat.
That sounds
No.
good.
I'm not quite sure about that.
That sounds
Pan,
dangerous for Pan.
how long can you hold your breath, Pan?
I can breathe underwater.
For how long?
I can breathe underwater.
Can you breathe
As long as there's
with
water
no
to breathe.
oxygen?
There's
Like, if you're
oxygen in the
void?
water.
No, I mean like if we were to sneak you into the bag of holding.
No.
Oh no, that won't work.
I can hold
Okay,
my
never
breath for an
mind.
hour, but you don't have enough room for me. I'm a thick boy.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about it while we're headed to Pyridos. So, I head out to Pyridos.
Do we need to keep watch as we're going?
Come on, Bard, write a song about that.
I don't take requests.
There it is.
They don't sing.
Let's all right. Let's keep walking, and I'm gonna die.
All right, so you're not
if
going to do
I'm
the 18 hours. How long do you want to travel for, though? How many miles?
16.
Or actually, it doesn't matter with miles. How long would you like to travel for? Right now, you know that it's late afternoon. You're rested enough from touching the obelisk, so you still are going to have like a good 18 hours potentially worth of travel in you. Obviously, if you do that, it's hard for a watch unless there's another way that you can protect yourself. So.
Guys,
Well,
I'm so happy to see the sun again.
it is nice to actually see a sky.
Can't
I
we
guess
just
I
rest?
don't know. I guess like 10 hours, and that way we can like do a watch for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Mac, it's actually the link, by the way.
Do that.
Here,
So we could do that, but Umbra,
if you go to group chat too.
Umbra, you said you had a spell or two that might be useful in, keeping us safe at night. I feel like we
Yes.
have options. We could maybe travel farther and rely on Umbra, or we could do dual watches. I'm a fan of either.
I have a way to magically keep us separated from the outside world, as well as keep surveillance on the area. I'm still not quite sure on which direction we're going. We're just
Nor-
We're
heading.
going northeast.
towards the
Yeah.
river. Also,
Yeah,
I
I'll
can
let you go ahead and move it. You can move it, Gretna, and you're gonna point out.
Oh,
You're
I
gonna tell
can?
everyone where to go. Yep, you can actually
Emmy
move it.
is in battle mode right now, so
Oh
he
my
has
gosh.
to talk.
Well,
So I
10 hours that way. I'm not going
Okay.
up the road. I think we're going like a beeline.
Yeah, like
Okay.
diagonal.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Where's the
Listen,
link?
bend me up to keep an eye, like circle
It's
above us.
in group chat too.
If Benny
general
sees
So
game
something.
chat too.
cool. This is a
Yep.
great map. I love it.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, and the nicest part is that everyone can control it, which is definitely an improvement. All right, so yeah, so basically you're going this direction here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, so you're able to get almost the entire way around. You're gonna walk through the night?
Yeah, yeah, I am.
Can
I guess I've got night vision. Anybody can grab onto my head and use me as their guide. On pigtails or
head?
whatever.
I got night vision too. I could see for 120 feet.
At normal speed, we can travel 3 miles per hour.
Yep. Yeah,
So-
the problem with this terrain and the problem with the area too is that you're just not really familiar with where you're going. So what ends up happening is as you start walking out into the desert, that's what I'm about to explain. So you start walking the first couple miles and things seem okay, except for the fact that you notice that it's incredibly hard to walk through this desert. You're not exactly sure why that is until you get to the third or fourth mile when you realize that it's almost like the desert itself is fighting you the entire way as you're walking. So what ends up happening is you can only basically go half movement throughout this entire thing until you find an area that has like an actual it's like grass plains. Everyone's going to be at half movement, which means you can still get at least one hex going.
Does it
Okay.
only fight you and you head towards the city, or the matter which?
No, it doesn't matter actually, because what ends up happening is Gretna walks the other direction. It's like the desert itself is fighting you, and what that means is that it looks like it's flat land, but when you walk through it, it's like trying to walk through dunes on a beach, and it's incredibly exhausting. Like, there are no dunes though. This has to be a magical effect after a while, and somebody can do an Arcana check to figure it out. But something's going on within the desert. It's as if it's as if the desert itself is hostile and wants to tire you out so you can die.
That's different.
So it only lets you go half movement, which is around 18.
I got a 17.
Well, 17 is enough to know that there's some kind of either some kind of ancient ritual or some kind of crazy magical effect has occurred in the past, and whatever's happening could be a symptom of that.
I mean, guys, if this is too hard for you, we can head back to the road. But I'm willing to press on.
Ew.
I mean, we don't have anywhere we have to be. So
Okay.
I'm willing to try this if everyone else is.
Chris, could I make that Arcana check as well?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I saw it. You got a 23.
23.
So the thing that the only different thing that you notice about this is that it has some kind of living magic associated with it. The only things that you know that have living magic like this have something to do with dragons. So maybe something to do with dragons is causing the desert to be like this, but you're not exactly sure what that would be or how. But the fact that you know it's by dragons just means you're an expert at sieving through the weave and figuring this out through the sand. Something to do with dragons affects the deserts in Thay.
Hmm.
Oh, this is killing me.
Could I wouldn't know, right?
You could try to
Umbra.
do an Arcana check. You could still try to do an Arcana check, yeah.
Yeah.
You won't know specifics, but if you roll high enough, you can at least get the mechanics. And as we saw, Erastus rolled very high and didn't get the mechanics, but you never know.
24.
Oh, you got one more.
Flash of inspiration that did 27.
Okay. All right. So you would know from a 27 that the underlying mechanic is that some kind of organic, magically infused matter has mixed with the sand, and that's the problem. That's all you would know. The sand was at one point maybe from something alive, maybe. That was obviously steeped in magic.
Do you want to take any of this? Magic sand?
I will bottle a sample.
But you're able to make it a hex throughout. So if you walk through it. Now, how do you guys want to sleep and all that fun stuff?
All right, that's a hex.
Yeah. So how long did we
Like,
travel?
right,
Did we travel
I-
18 hours?
Well, I'm asking that's it depends on how
Magic.
far you actually get. Yeah, it depends on how far you actually get through it. But yes.
Well, Umbra said he could put something together, so I'm willing to go the 18.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you're at the edge. Then you're right at the edge if that's the case. Yeah.
Am I in the right spot? Just put
Yeah,
me
that's
wherever you
fine.
want me to be.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Does
Yeah.
Umbra have tiny hut?
I have tiny huts. I have tiny huts sending. I have a familiar that can keep watch for a bit.
He can watch as well.
It's I mean, tiny hut is nice for you guys because it's getting to the just beginning of the middle of the afternoon from the last day, and sun's starting to like heat up. So tiny hut will definitely be nice.
Can't Pier go without sleeper? Only needs half or something.
Sure can.
Okay.
Just let me know.
I
Give me
can-
10 minutes to get it up.
I can do the create food and water again thing, but I don't know if 45 pounds of food is going to fit into the hut. So you want me to do it before we put the hut up?
Can
Just
we
make
put the
it a-
leftover in the bag
Yeah.
for a day or whatever long it lasts?
It'll just go bad. I'm the water will stay good, but the food won't.
If you
It
like,
lasts for 24 hours.
what if you make like one really heavy cake?
I don't think I don't have a choice. It just comes out like oatmeal.
Okay,
Grass
that's
has got you
ugh.
hooked on them sweets.
Fish tacos.
We could use prestidigitation, Umbra, to make
Right.
anything
That's
taste like a cake.
it's a great combination.
Yes, I could
They
know.
hit a cinnamon once, and now he wants cake. You are literally the give a mouse a cookie scenario.
Okay, so I cast right. Everybody want to eat?
Now the mouse wants to go into Fae.
Okay, so I create food and water
Yes.
before I go to sleep. Oh, unless something's happened before that. I don't know.
I cinnamon sugar my oatmeal.
Okay.
Do we get bowls or is it just like slopped on the ground?
It's pretty much just slopped on the ground, and then the water probably seeps right into the sand.
I gotta spoon that off the sandy
Sand in
ground.
your Subway sandwiches.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's
Trace
crunchy.
its grits and it's
It
already
does
gritty.
surprisingly get into these like if you look at the actual spell like art, it does look like they actually give you containers. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Just
nice.
for that reason. Yeah, just for that reason actually. So
Okay.
yeah.
So there's bowls of water too, I guess.
Tupperware.
I wash myself.
My shell
Yeah.
is also concave because remember deformity, so my back could potentially be a basin.
We all bathe in Erasmus.
I also picked up prestidigitation. So
Right, so
unless
it's
you
taste-
just want to have the feeling of water on your skin, I picked up a new trick.
This is odd, but I have a turtle jade device that has a concave back.
Huh.
It was
That is
from
odd.
Mayan Indians. It was a sacrificial chamber, like bowl.
That's weird.
That is
All right.
weird.
So are you guys going to so you're doing this in the tiny hut or outside the tiny hut?
I'm
I
getting
think
Tiny Hut up right now.
Inside.
Okay.
Yeah. Inside if possible.
Okay.
I'm having
We could
I'm
try
having
it.
my owl sit outside the tiny hut and look around, keep watch while
Yep.
I'm inside.
Sure.
I'm gonna find a little
Yeah.
part.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna nestle it between a few rocks and sort of I want to make it the same color as the surrounding earth. So even though it's gonna be smooth, it's gonna look like the same color.
Yep. Great. Yep.
Can I let
Okay, cool.
Kirigi scuttle around in the sand? Never seen
Yeah,
sand.
he does get out finally. And he also asks you, he's been asking you, he's been bugging you the whole time, like where are they and everything, and he wants to go fly around. I assume you've said no for now, but
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him he can fly around the group, but we don't know what's out here, so it would be a little too
Yeah.
dangerous for him to go far. But if he wants to scuttle about, but yeah, I'll just happily like be talking to him in my head about, oh
Yeah.
well, here's what I know about this place, but here's where we're going, and here's my brother, and all of this other stuff.
yeah, and he also tells you, he's like, I'm really good at flying, so he can actually fly much farther than you guys can walk, and he can go much faster than you guys can walk too, if you allowed him to scout. It doesn't mean that it's safe,
Right.
but yeah, okay.
Yeah, if it's not, I'm not certain it's safe, so I'm gonna tell him that I'd prefer him not. But I imagine we're in kind of a loose group formation right now. I'll tell him he can scuttle about near us, so I know he's safe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he'll get out and go through it. He hates the sand, by the way. He hates it.
Oh.
When he touches the sand, he's like, I don't want to deal with any of this, and he gets back up on you.
Gets
I thought he was
everywhere.
more cat-like, so he might have a field day with it.
No, he normally would. He normally would. He tells you he just doesn't like this sand.
Oh, this sand because
Yeah.
it's magic.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Oh,
Erasmus, that's not Almond Roca.
Erasmus, did you want to identify the sand? Just an idea.
I need a pearl.
I have a good pen.
I can make a pearl.
Ooh, that changes things.
Oh, right, you weren't here for that last time.
I need that pearl.
Yeah.
We're making it out of.
Sand.
Assuming quite a lot.
Like a clam. I make it out of sand. So I will just create the pearl.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, she can hand it to you.
Look away. Turn the other way, Erastus. Turn around.
No.
I'm gonna chuck it at Umber's head.
I'm turned around. You probably just whip him in the back of the head with it.
Yes, and then I go and pick it up, and then I hand it to Erastus. Here you go. It lasts for 3 hours. Yes, it lasts for 3 hours, so you have 3 hours to use it. And then I can make another one tomorrow if you need another one for 3 hours.
Okay.
And if we needed to identify anything else, I guess now would be the time. While I'm almost done getting the hut up, so like 2 more minutes.
TikTok.
Yeah. While he's doing that, Co is gonna kind of just plop down on the ground and kind of just sit. She is gonna take her book out and she's gonna start writing to her brother and let him know they got out of the tomb, and Thay, what their plan is, and if possible, if he knows any more about Thay, or if he may have acquired some contacts in Thay in his time in Luskan.
Yeah. Okay.
And I do have a few slots left over to cast Sending if anyone needs to send a message to anyone else.
You don't actually get a response back from your brother, by the way.
That's a concern. That's a big concern. Theo.
Did you identify the sand, Erastus?
Sure.
So you're gonna spend 15 minutes doing a ritual and try to identify it.
No, identify is I'm just gonna burn a spell slot and do it instantly.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, that's right. For your uh. So you are able to identify the sand, and it sure enough, the sand is a latent magic. It's not one obviously item as you guessed, but there's a bunch of latent magic within it that does seem to be based off some kind of organic material. Your best guess on the identify, even though it doesn't tell you, is completely by just you being really good with the weave and going through things. This looks like it was actually ground up dragon bones. There must have been a great war here with a bunch of dragons, but worse, the dragon's malevolent spirit of its death or whatever, and many dragons potentially, whatever it was, there's a malevolence within the sand as well. The sand is going to try to slowly kill you. And what that means is that as you start walking through it, anytime you're in the desert, it's going to try its best to dehydrate you, to exhaust you, to go through it. And the more you're in it, the worse it's going to be. The only way to safely travel through these areas is to get some kind of device item or something that is going to be able to keep you away from the sand or fly. But this sand's going to eventually try to kill you. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse as you travel in it.
Would I feel like my armor would insulate me enough? Well
You feel
enough?
like you could probably be insulated on your armor, and if you could get everyone to like fit on you and pull you, potentially that would work. Um, Otherwise, you're gonna have to find something for this. But your armor would potentially insulate you. You just know that you're not big enough for everyone to fit on you.
Big yikes. All right, I'll let everyone know that the sand is kill sand. It's death sand.
It'll get worse and worse. It'll try to first it's gonna try to exhaust you, make you slower and so on and so forth. Then it's gonna try to start to dehydrate you eventually.
Aggressively killing sand.
So we head towards the road tomorrow. It's gonna bring us back a day, but
Yeah, it does. You are able to see within the map that there should be a road. You imagine there is a road here of some kind,
North and
and
so
you
that
did
follow
vaguely see off into the distance a road as well. Also, you guys do see into the distance in these hexes here. Here, I'll show you. On these hexes here, it looks like there's most possibly greenery. It looks like this is the area of sand currently. So there's going to be pockets of this, but right here, it looks like this area right here is all desert. But it's only what 30-40 miles out. So if you look closely enough, you can tell, unless it's a mirage, that there's greenery on the sides here.
We'll send while we sleep. I will send Bimmy to investigate.
Sure.
And
Did
if
you get a
something
time frame?
I mean, he doesn't need to sleep. He's got a +4 to perception. He's got a stat block. He can't talk, but if I ask him a question, he can point his beak. If I ask him, "Hey, is the trees real?" He can nod or shake his head.
Right.
So I will send while we sleep. I will send Bimmy flying overhead
Yep.
to investigate, and I will also turn him black to blend in with the night sky.
Okay. What do you tell Bimmy? Because he can only take simple instructions. Like, what do you tell him?
Go see if
Where do
those
you want him
trees
to
are
fly?
real.
Oh, you want to get to the grasslands or whatever. Okay. Yep.
And
That's
see
fine.
if the sand is there.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Gracias.
So
We are going.
does anybody want to do anything that night while we go through it?
We are going to be sleeping on the sand tonight. So be advised. I don't know what the time frame on this kill stand is, but it seems like it's going to be sleeping tents or sleeping bags and directly on the
You know
sand.
it's not going to kill you by matter of fact, it may not even be able to kill you just by sleeping on it since you identified it, Erastus. But maybe if you slept on it for a month, it could. So but as you move through it, as you aggravate the sand, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And that malevolent spirit of whatever is mixed in with the sand, or multiple benevolent spirits mixed with sand, that's what's doing the damage here. That's what's doing the magical effect. And so as you if you lay very still, this effect is very, very small. But as you walk through it, for instance, that's where it starts to become a problem.
Before I go to sleep, I cast Stone Shape on a rock or something that I probably have in my bag, and I just turned it into 5 feet of stone that maybe we can at least sleep on a little bit. A 5 foot
Yeah,
square.
two people uncomfortably can sleep on that. Yeah.
I just
Okay.
flip onto my back.
Yep.
And retreat into my shell. I always have the bed with me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sio's just gonna lean against Erastus, and before he goes to sleep, she's gonna ask him if he thinks that sand is the reason she can't get a hold of her brother. She's kind of worried now how she could talk to him in the tomb, not talk to him once we're out of the tomb.
Yeah, you don't think so. You don't think this would have any interference, Erastus.
I don't think so. Also, just a reminder, I did give Umbra the +1 arcane focus, right? Or did I give
Ooh.
you the spell
I
referring?
have a ring of spell storing, but I'll take a +1 arcane focus.
Okay, well, I just want to remind you, you might want to dump a spell into that
Okay.
before you go to sleep. I want to put a 3rd level spell into that.
Yes.
Oh,
I
no,
am
no,
gonna
I gave Miles
do.
the radiant weapon.
Gee, I guess, and before we go to sleep, if you don't mind sending something, I got a family back in Athkatla that I could probably get a hold of now and just say, hi, calling for Gretna. She's okay. That's
I
it.
have a picture.
I got nothing.
You have
I
a
need
name?
a picture and a name.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a picture. I could
Be
draw it in
fairly
the
familiar
sand,
with
I
them.
guess.
It's the only
Ah,
downside.
well, then forget it.
But
Thanks anyway.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I could, Gretna. I
Hmm?
think Umbra and I have the same spell. It's just differently because of my patron. I just need a name. I don't even have to know the person.
Oh, okay.
Also, Theo.
Barney Tuckerton. Barnegat.
Tuckerton.
That's my last name.
Sia
Could be.
will write that out, and she'll just hand Gretna the pen, and she has about 25 words, and you'll hear it in either her voice or Sia's voice, and then their response will come into one of their heads as their voices, but it will write itself out on the page, and she can do it unlimited.
Okay,
And where is Barney currently at? Which city?
I don't know. Athkatla, maybe. Last I
Oh,
heard. Actually,
Athkatla,
last
okay.
they were in Luskin. That's how I ended up there.
Okay.
But I don't know
No,
if they're
that's
still
fine.
there.
Athkatla is fine. And what do you envision Barney doing right now? By the way, what did you envision? Because I only have a very brief outline of Barney. What's
He just runs a shop with the family. You know, he helps
Okay,
run the family
alright.
business. So
Okay.
it's boring. They're like middle class people.
Right.
Nothing's ever gone
Cool.
badly to family that owns a shop.
Yep. Yeah, if you write this in,
Nothing can go wrong. Hey, it's
and
Jarlaxle.
how does your book work? They get one response until you write it
So
again.
it's unlimited. So
Okay.
I write to them within the confines of the spell, but I
Yep.
can keep writing back to them an unlimited amount of times.
And
I can only
how do
just
they
write to
hear
3
it? By the way,
people.
I've never looked at this. How do they actually hear this?
So I write it out, but it goes into their mind
Right.
with. I'm assuming it's my voice since I typically write it. I don't
Yep.
know if Gretna writing it, it's her voice, but when they respond, it writes itself out on the page, but I hear them in my mind as well.
Okay. Well, if you say that, Barney will say, I don't know if this is real, but if Gretna's really with you, tell her that we miss her.
I've been doing Tears work. See you when I can. That's it. Just tell
Okay.
everybody I'm fine.
Yeah. No, he said thanks. No one's gonna believe me. What am I gonna tell everybody? But if this is real, you know, I'm probably gonna tell people anyway. But if this is real, great. Yeah, come back and see us.
Sounds like a plan.
We
That's
tried
it.
that with one of the other ones from the other group. I mean, they said that they were ahead of us in time, and now we're ahead in time. I wonder if we passed them or caught up.
Playing leapfrog with time.
I tried with Kino after we. Well, I tried right before we left work. I tried with Miracle.
Message to Kino, didn't get a headache.
So
this
Kino,
time.
so Kino, the one advantage, but you only get one response, for now. This time you don't actually have to do a check, and you can discern whatever you need to discern off that. But you are gonna get one response before next time.
That's up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna be very confused and a little upset. Who said this wasn't what Erastus sent me? Is this Theo or was this Erastus?
It's gonna be in Sio's
This is-
voice, but yeah.
Oh,
Right?
because I
'Cause
thought
it-
no. Well,
Oh no
Gage
no no!
tried
What
with
am I saying? It's
Replier.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
I had
I'm
tried
wrong.
last
Gage
session
did
with
this
my
with the
book and it didn't
replier because
work.
you guys are linked. Yeah.
Kino can be upset.
Yeah, it's easier for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it unlimited with
Just for
replier?
family.
It's actually this is unlimited communication, but for whatever reason you only get one response
That's weird.
Wouldn't it be
because you're
instant?
linked.
Like,
It is instant, and so this is what happens. Everyone that has a sort of answer can actually talk to another person as long as you've actually like been in contact with that person, know who they are. It's almost like a Knights of the Order kind of thing. Normally it's unlimited, but
Cool.
that said, you're only going to get one response.
okay.
Well-
Sio's gonna take this chance to try and get her brother again because now she's really worried this isn't working.
Okay. So by the way, as that goes through, did you already respond? By the way, Kino?
Yeah. Sorry, I typed it out to Gage, but I'll read it out.
Okay. So no, it's okay. You don't have to. You can just type it out the Gage. So anyway, so Kiri actually like very hesitantly he says he comes to you, and this is all telepathic. He said I didn't want to say anything, but I don't like the eyes always watching us, and he points to you, and he kind of shows you what he's talking about through his eyes, and there is a glowing orb that you cannot see with your eyes currently, surrounding the group.
There's an invisible eye kind of just watching us. I don't think that's normal. And she's
Yeah,
gonna
but-
point to where it is and look at Umbra and Erastus because she thinks they're the smartest people.
Yeah, you
Wait,
guys
hold
can make
on.
Arcana checks. Yeah.
Just point out where it is, and is it you don't want these people scrying on you, right?
Scrying?
Yes.
I don't
Powerful
know what
divination.
that is.
I'm
Oh, if
just
it's powerful, probably not.
Before she says anything else, I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on it, where she's
Okay,
pointing.
Go for it. You can try. Yeah, go for it.
Also snoring.
Good luck.
Forgot Erastus went to sleep.
As usual, he refuses to take any watches.
No, why did that not roll when I cast that? It used the slot.
You gotta manually cast a d20. It doesn't automatically roll. It no matter what Dispel Magic is, you have to either type into Array or do the. It's stupid. It never just rolls it
Alright.
for you.
So that is a 15 plus my spellcasting ability, which is a 15, so 20 total.
You dispel it. It is dispelled.
I really am Mirror Henri.
Now you know. Now I think you would know a little bit about that. Actually, do you have scrying yet? Do you have the
I
ability
do.
to take scrying?
No, Scrying's
I
5th level.
Oh no,
That's
I'm
what I
sorry. I'm
thought.
thinking
That's what I
I'm
thought.
thinking
You're
of
that strong?
So you don't.
Yeah,
So
what the
so you
fuck?
don't exactly know. So you don't exactly know how long this is going to last, but it's not coming back anytime soon. It looks like.
inside the hut. Inside the hut right now. They can't see us in there, I think.
No, hut doesn't prevent. Sorry, out of character. Hut doesn't prevent scrying.
Never
Uh,
mind.
I
No
thought
one
we
said
were all
anything.
just chilling in here.
You wouldn't know that though, so it's fine. You would
Shit.
tell everybody this anyway. Yeah.
That's
Inside the
what
hut.
Private Sanctum is for. Remember? That's why Anu got it.
Yes. Shit.
So, I'm sorry, but what is scrying and what was that and what did you just do?
I just sent it away, but I might have just poked the bear. You have a dragon that sees magic, correct? I heard that before. You can see it. You can
Yeah,
sense it.
that's how I knew. Kiri told me. Kiri, how long was it there for?
He says he was there for a long time. It kind of bothered me. I'm sorry. I guess I should have said something.
Tell us next time, please. That seems very unusual.
He said, "I'm sorry. I thought the turtle did it. I'm sorry."
It's okay. You had no way of knowing, but you're gonna be our eyes and ears for that sort of thing from now on. Okay?
He said, "Okay."
You know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of
Marijuana.
Arcane Eye. That's what I have, not scrying.
Okay. Oh, you took what? Arcane Eye and Polymorph.
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah. No. Arcane Eye is actually like visible, I think, to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but scrying is the invisible glowing orb in the corner.
Be right back.
But yes, it might be back, so Kiri G, keep a lookout. Do they sleep, Theo?
This,
Sleeps,
if you're
right?
talking about, yeah, it does. Yep.
Does he sleep for a limited time, or does he sleep like 8 hours?
You've never actually seen like his sleeping cycle because he's up all the time, so it must be less than 8 hours, but he does sleep. Yeah,
In 8 hours?
he constantly bugs you a little bit too, unfortunately. Even though his scales are made out of emerald, every now and then he'll like run across your face and stuff just because he gets really bored. He doesn't mean to. He's just like he also like likes to wake you up a little bit. It's not enough that it actually interrupts your rest, but he does it because he gets lonely.
No, Co loves it because she's never had a pet, but
Yep.
I don't know. She loves it. She enjoys it.
Yep.
I can ask Kiri to watch, but I mean, he'll still have to sleep at some point, but not as long as us.
He tells you, no, it's okay. If I see something, I'm going to sting it really bad, so it's fine.
I don't think that will work.
Kiri, can you sting that sort of thing?
I can. I'm such a good stinger. And he shows you his sting. You guys can see that the dragon is showing her his stinger.
You can sting invisible eyes?
That's very forward of you.
Is that possible?
Oh, he said no. I can sting like real things. He said I could try to sting the invisible eye though.
I would.
No, I
Interesting.
was talking about monsters. He's telling you he wants to sting monsters if they come and try to
If
get
we
you.
have a chance, I'll let you. But
Yep.
you know I love you and I don't want you to get hurt, but I'd love to see you in action.
He said I'm really good at it. You'll see.
So from that, just a little concerned. You said that was very powerful magic. Similar to what you're capable of doing, Umbra. So, I mean, who would be watching us? Besides
I mean,
the
we did.
obvious.
I mean, we did cast quite a few very powerful spells, rituals. It could be possible. We also, I mean, not for nothing, we might have crossed some sort of veil by being teleported into here. I was actually going to assume that this dome was going to block some sort of divination the first time you failed to contact your brother. But I was proven wrong. So we definitely got the attention of someone powerful enough, more powerful than I. But I think it's advisable to keep a watch.
We
For
traveled so long that if we did a watch, would we gain exhaustion?
So the only time that you're going to get exhaustion is if you don't sleep. If you don't sleep, yes.
Okay.
So,
So
and
we
yes,
could
so
still
if you
do.
do a watch, you're going to gain exhaustion. Yep.
Oh, shoot.
I'm also assuming that that little emerald pseudo dragon of yours is also very desirable in a place like this. If they saw it, and I'm assuming they did, because it was here for a while, they're probably just going to come here and maybe snatch them.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have a couple options. Number one, you can move, but then you're going to have to take your point of exhaustion. Or you wait throughout the night and you take your chances.
It's not good. Well,
Yes.
oh, and I have to think about the Necronomicon too, because it just floats around everywhere I go.
Holy shit, you have a pink fiery book floating around you.
Yep.
How have I
And I
not
have a
seen
green
that till
dragon.
just now?
Kinda just does its thing.
If you want, I can hold on to the dragon for you.
That's up to Kiriji. He's a faithful boy, if nothing else.
Yeah, he doesn't actually love the fact that someone else is going to hold him. He tells you that right out. He's like, he'd much rather just be in your clothes or something. He'd really rather not somebody hold him. He said if it has to be done, he'll do it because he's brave. But he said he doesn't really know Umber enough to trust him.
I think I'll just take my chances, Kiriji staying close to me, and it won't be pretty tomorrow, but I might stop a bit to just, make sure that things transpire tonight. Because now I'm worried that we might, have people after us.
We might get jumped. It's always a possibility. And if there's mages after us, they could just dispel my hut. So,
That's true too.
but then again, if we're exhausted, we're no good. No one felt the resistance of a spell, right? No one felt
Nope.
any sort of mental strain. Shit.
No.
Well. Hmm.
I'm worried we might just have to take our chances because either they come tonight, we're ambushed, but we're at least rested, or we're exhausted tomorrow and they catch us.
Let's take a quick rest. All of us together. No sense in being tired.
That's true. Seal will just kind of lean up against Erasmus, as she always does, and before she goes to sleep, she's going to try her brother one more time.
Sure.
And just ask him if he's okay because he didn't respond.
Sure. Yeah, you try, but nothing.
That's not good at all.
All right, so you guys are going to go to bed?
Yeah.
Who's taking which watch? When?
Well, if you do watches, unless you don't have to sleep the full amount, which is possible, you are going to gain a point of exhaustion.
Pure, how much do you have to sleep in one night?
I can meditate for about 4 hours.
You would only need about 4 hours of rest.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be okay. I'm willing to take the point of exhaustion, take another shift, just to make sure we're not jumped. But would leave us one shift short.
I'll take
Okay.
the other point of exhaustion.
Does Greta have some type of a spell to remove exhaustion?
Yeah, I've got lesser resto.
It's greater restoration to remove a level of exhaustion, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah, we were just looking this up
Yeah.
because I thought
No,
lay on
I don't
hands
have
did.
that, and I don't have the money for it, even if I did. Okay. No,
Yeah.
I don't.
A good one to have. Definitely a good spell to have in your arsenal.
Well, I eventually will have it, but
Well, good night, everyone. May we all wake up in the morning. I'm gonna station my owl familiar outside of the dome, sort of off either on a rocky bluff or what's the range on it? I think it's 30 feet. I'm just gonna have it because I cast the dome as a ritual when it was still inside. If he sees anything or she sees anything, she's gonna fly back inside and wake up me and alert the person who is ever watching. I let them know.
Okay. All right, that's cool. All right, so as you guys go through and sleep, around the time that it hits nightfall, because it was late afternoon going through this, around like 8 o'clock or so, the owl doesn't say anything, but everyone is immediately awoken as the tiny hut goes down. And you can and as it happens, like a rush of air like sweeps over everyone. Everyone wakes up. Nobody got the rest. Um, and basically you feel like a very heavy air go through you. Let me show you what you see. Hold on. Ignore the background. These are first you see 3 people, and then when your eyes like awaken and go through, you see that there are also behind you 40 skeletons, all in armor, going through it as well. But let me show you the people you see first.
Friends of
This is
yours?
relatively important. Hold on.
Oh my
Caleb's
god,
really
40
yelling when you
skeletons.
mention him.
Henri?
Just one tiny human in the middle. By the way, Chris, if you're showing on Discord, you know you're not streaming, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to it. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I don't know why this isn't working. Let's see. Weird. Hold on. I'll paste it in Discord. I'm gonna paste it in your thing. It'll paste there. So this is what you guys see. So everyone go to the group 2 chat. You see what looks like a skeletal figure on the right, a man in pure white with a dagger, some kind of dagger putting out, and then some albino guy with white. Both of the other guys are in red. And he has some kind of like scrolls or maps on his back too. And he comes up to, so explain to me a little bit about how you guys are positioned. I know Gretna is on a rock with someone else. Who's kind of in the center of the hut?
Probably me.
Okay. All right. So he says, so that the man in white says, no use in running. Got you surrounded. You can see that there's at least 40 people behind you, but you wouldn't even guess how many people are around you. So first off, how'd you get in?
What?
How'd you get in?
No. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody like try to say something that was out of character.
Oh, I think
That
they're
was
just
around
waking up.
fingers,
Yeah,
so-
they're just waking up. He's just.
I also
waking
didn't get
up.
the picture yet.
Yeah,
Oh, it's in group 2 chat. Sorry.
it is not.
it's not. No.
Oh,
I
it's
see
not.
a YouTube link.
Oh, I gave it
Last
to
time was
Gretna. I'm
me.
sorry. I direct messaged it to Gretna. That's why. Hold on. I don't know how I
I
did
see
that.
how it is. I see Chris is
Yeah.
playing favorites.
Yeah, we know who your favorite
There you
is,
go.
Chris.
There you go.
Oh no,
Just
that's so much
expand.
worse.
Yeah, just expand, like open the original to go through it to like make it bigger. So skeletal figure, right on the right. Then this guy that's completely albino with red and gold robes, and then this white character with a bunch of what looks like maybe maps or scrolls on his back with a dagger. So, yeah, he's the only one talking, and he says exactly what I said. He said, "So how did you get in?"
It was honestly an accident.
We didn't mean to venture here.
And
We
we will
were.
be leaving as soon as we're allowed can. Yeah. yeah.
He says, "All right." So, but I need more specifics. How did you actually get in? We felt the disturbance. One of you tried to talk outside of the barrier. That's how we found you. Now we need to find out how you got in.
I'm gonna turn to Cecile and I'm gonna say, I mean, should I just tell them?
We have to.
I don't think
No
we
one
really
else
have a
we can do.
choice.
Don't either.
So Pen will turn back and say, God, I actually don't even know how he would react to Pan talking, but Pan's gonna try.
It's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Have you heard of the tomb that travels around the lands? The magical tomb.
His eyes narrow, and he says, "No."
Do I believe him?
Insight check.
My passive perception tell me anything about these fellas?
7.
Yes, your passive perception tells you that it is very possible that he is not the leader. Because every now and then he is uneasily reading the body language of the person that is skeletal behind him. This is happening in blink of an eye. Most people would not be perceptive enough to see this, but you can tell.
Does that guy fit the description of the lich that I've heard about?
Saz of Tam, no. But it does fit the description of a lich. All right. So anyway,
I got
so
26 for insight.
26. Yeah, it looks like he genuinely does. He genuinely is confused. He does not know anything about the tomb.
We
Say-
we were in the tomb. We were hired to go in there. And when we were in there, we came across an incredibly powerful magical item which teleported us randomly to this desert. We did not get to choose to come here, and we would not have come here if that was not the case.
He pauses. He takes a deep breath in. He says, "Where are you from?"
We
What's
are
your
all
name?
from
Hoy hoy.
different places.
That's fine.
You ever heard
List
of
it.
a hoy hoy?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Where else?
I am from the Sea of Fallen Stars.
That's a large area. Where
It is.
specifically?
I hail from the Sea King's Court.
Anyone else? He looks over at the group. He looks at the tiefling. You, where are you from?
What's your name?
I'm the one answering the questions, and as he does that,
Asking.
his dagger
You're the one
glows.
asking the questions.
Asking. Sorry, I said answering. As he does say that, his silver like short sword starts to glow, and the skeletons all react in unison around him, and they draw their swords. There's at least 40 behind him. Erastus, you know there's more, but
Why are they drawing their swords? We have not attempted to make any harm towards you.
Stop being evasive. I think we are not in a bargaining position.
Umbra's looking real angry at this.
I'm gonna sit on my butt and just be very non-offensive.
Yep.
Sio's gonna grab. Well, I don't know. Would Sio notice that he's angry?
I'm
Getting
not
antsy.
Yeah, I
hiding
mean,
it
if
quite
you're not
well.
hiding it, you would.
Okay.
Yeah, Umbra, if you're not hiding it, then I think it'd be fine to notice. Yeah.
Then Sio will go up and kind of just grab the sleeve, like Umbra's sleeve, and just kind of stand next to him and look at the man in white who asked her where she was from. I was born in Neverwinter, to Luskan as a child.
Luskin. Okay, so you're spies. Anyone else?
No.
We are not spies. We are.
By no means spies.
Hmm. Where else? And he looks at you, Gretna.
Othkatla.
Hmm. And then he looks over at you, Umbra. Where are you from?
Daggerford.
Yes, definitely spies. So you know of the Bloodkeep Gate, I assume. That's why you're
I
here?
actually
What?
don't.
No.
If we were spies, we'd be a lot better hidden.
Why would they send me? And I gesture to my giant shell and
Yes.
toddler form as a
Uh,
spy.
We're the most motley crew in this entire place.
Why would they send me as a spy here?
Look at how
To a
clunky and
desert.
dysfunctional we are.
Not only that, but we don't know anything of this place, let alone of red gates.
God damn it! I've been trying to go home for like 50 years.
We want to leave more than anything.
We have not been within any of your cities. We have not talked with anybody in this land other than you. We are just trying to leave after accidentally getting teleported here.
And to
And
put
we'll
the
happily
period
leave.
to put the period on this, Erastus starts crying.
So at that point, the skeletal thing on the right-hand side says, "My patience is growing very, very, very thin. I can tell that you have some ability." And everyone now backs off. Erastus, you can tell, and anyone with a high passive perception higher than 17 also would know that they are deeply afraid of this man. Both of them. Whenever he talks, they just shut up and go behind. And he says, "I'm going to need some better answers from everyone. First and foremost, whether you've heard of me or not, it's most important for me if you know about what happened at Bloodgate Keep. My emissary specifically misspoke." And as he does that, he does some kind of hand component, and magic washes over every single person. Everyone, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. You don't have to do
no.
advantage yet. It's okay. This is a spell, and it is evasive, but it doesn't do damage.
Nat
So,
20.
Would I
okay, you
recognize the
save.
spell?
Not yet.
Okay.
You save.
Four.
You save from this though. Okay.
13.
Oh no.
Okay. Is a pretty high spell save.
12.
25.
Okay. So Gretna saves and Umbra saves. Everyone else does not. Okay. So he says, "I'm going to make it a little easier now for us to communicate." So let's ask this again. Who here knows about Bloodgate Keep? Everyone is compelled that didn't save to answer honestly in unison.
I
No.
haven't heard
No.
shit.
We have heard
Geo is
nothing
going
about
to-
Bloodgate Keep.
Never heard of it.
He does actually look at Umbra and he says, "Answer again. Do you know anything about Bloodgate Keep?"
I know not a goddamn thing.
He said, "That is interesting." And then he looks over at he does look over at the turtle as well. He says, "Answer again. What do you know?"
Wait, oh, sorry.
About Bloodgate Keep?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it before.
And then he looks over and he asks you again, "What do you know?" And he's now talking to you, Pandemonium. "What do you know about Bloodgate Keep?"
I know nothing of Bloodgate Keep.
Okay. All right. He looks back at the group and he says, "All right. Now, are you spies from Neverwinter?" Everyone that
No.
didn't save has to compel an answer honestly.
We are not
I
spies.
say no anyway.
No.
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 Okay, that's good. That would have been a waste to kill you all on the spot. What do you know of Fae?
Nothing.
But I want to
the
get the
thing.
hell out of it.
I know
I
you
heard
eat
you
tritons.
Turtles.
Should
Maybe
not be
turtles.
here.
And your sand is um trying to kill us slowly, or it might. I don't know. There's something living in it. I don't know.
He says, so pardon my hasty introduction here. My name is Terrell Var.
Nice
Has
to
anyone
meet
heard
you,
of me?
Toro.
No.
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 Should we? Is that insulting? If so, I'm sorry.
Bells.
He says, I am over 1,000 years old. And I actually led the raid on Bloodgate Keep. It failed. And he points over to the dome. That dome is because of my failure. And you're going to help me. You're going to help me right this wrong. Otherwise, I can easily kill you where you stand. Even if I couldn't kill you myself, and I'm certain I could, all of us here will absolutely end your life. And even if you could strike me down, and I highly doubt you could, you would never ever kill me. So, now that we have that understood,
You had me at help us.
great. He said, so, I have a problem. And you seem capable, but most importantly, you are not from Thay. I'm going to do you a little bit of a favor, and I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on so that when you are asked, you can blend in. And when you're done with what I'm asking you to do, I will let you go. Is
Insight.
this understood?
Do I believe him?
Yeah, you can insight check, I'm sure.
I want to insight check him too.
Yeah,
11.
Yeah, go for it.
Bullshit.
You believe him. What? Who else?
I would
Me.
also like to check that.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
inside checking him.
Yep.
A 9.
Yeah, you believe him.
Okay.
22.
He's totally truthful.
22 will tell you that he is holding back information. He's holding back information.
I only got a 16.
Okay. So he does, so he pauses and he says, so because I failed. He says, first and foremost, he said, who, I assume you know this, although I can tell by some of your answers that you seem to be out of touch a little bit, but Thay is currently at war with, well, most of the known world. And our expedition into Daggerford did not go as planned. I'll leave it at that. And we were pushed back. Bloodgate Keep was where I failed. And you can also tell, by the way, that the fact that he is talking to everyone so easily and treating you as almost semi-equals is shocking to the people behind him. As a matter of fact, on the man in white, there might be just a tad bit of even jealousy in his face as he starts to talk. They don't really hide this because they are such in awe and shocked that they're going through this. And he says, so that's why I need your help. And I do need someone who is not from Thay to help me. Now, I don't really understand how you got in. That's a problem that we're going to have to solve later. He says, that barrier there, that's partly mine. That means no one gets in and no one gets out of Thay while we regroup and decide what our next course of action is, which means you could not have teleported in here. However, I know that you are answering me honestly. He says, what was the device? And you are going to, everyone that didn't save needs to compel and answer honestly. What was the device that helped you get in here? What did it look like? What
Some
was it
kind of
called?
obelisk.
Yeah, it was
We
a
didn't
big
get a
old-
name. We don't know what it really did.
it was
Tell
in
me
the
everything
tomb.
you know about it.
Cio will
No.
word vomit everything her patron had told her about the
Yeah.
obelisk.
Right.
Never
Okay.
mind.
So he says, he says, he says Netherese artifacts in Faerun? That's very, very interesting.
Yeah, you can go
Yeah.
get it. It's in the bottom of that tomb.
Good luck.
Theo's tugging on Umber's sleeve to kind of signal for him to knock it off.
I wouldn't.
He says,
go-
"So
I wouldn't.
who
I
is?
wouldn't go there.
So who here has heard of the Doom Vault?"
No.
No,
Nope.
No.
not a day in my life.
I feel uninformed suddenly.
He said, "Well," he said, "you're in luck. You're going to learn everything there is to know about the Doom Vault because that's where I need you to go." He says, "A long time ago, a Thayan Archmage named Kazakh Gul, he built the Doom Vault. It was to siphon souls of those who perished within it. It was to use with some kind of experiment that has been lost to history." And you can tell he's lying. He doesn't attempt to actually deceive you. He's very obviously lying there. So one of these, however, in one of these rooms was a creation of an extra dimensional vault in which he stored his own phylactery. You see, in Thay, there are more than one of me. And he points to his skull-like face. He says, however, eventually Sazam Tam and his followers defeated and enslaved Gul. They changed the Doom Vault into a monstrous menagerie, an arcane labyrinth. And all through the space, it is still called the Phylactery Vault of Kazakh Gul. He says, but the more on that later. For now, you're not really going to understand what I'm saying. But it also holds the phylacteries of Saztam and all of his elite lich servants. You are going to go into the Doom Vault, and you are going to bring back Sazamtam's phylactery to me. Do you understand?
Are you going to destroy it?
What I do with that phylactery is my own business.
Sounds like what we just got done doing.
Now,
Sorry, can I get a spelling of the name? Sazamtal?
Sazamtam, it's Sazamtam, and it's Szasstam.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Szasstam.
Okay, thank you.
He said, I assure you the Doom Vault is like nothing you've ever seen or experienced. He says, now, I have a contact.
I don't know about that.
I have a contact that will escort you into the Doom Vault because it's not exactly easy to get in. Once that is in place and once you bring the phylactery back to me, I'll let you go. It's that simple. I will never tell anyone that you were here, and I will bring down a portion of the barrier. He says, fortunately for you anyway, you would have gotten to the edge and never been able to leave regardless.
Even if we're not from here.
Correct.
Quick
Especially
question.
if you're not from here.
Why can't any points to the rest points to the pale guy and the white human? Why can't they do this for you? You seem to have a lot of
Because quite frankly, they're not expendable.
About that expendable thing, are you gonna let us go in complete health? Like, are you not gonna change us or alter us in any way before you let us go?
He said, no, I will let you go alive.
Unchanged.
Unchanged.
Opportunity to understand a little more of what we're doing.
Go ahead. You can ask me questions.
Thank you. You said that you went to Daggerford, and as a result, she'll just gesture to the dome happened. When did that happen? You've been alive thousands of years, but you make it sound as if it was almost recent.
Oh, it was very, very recent.
As in, how long ago?
Why are you asking?
Because we've been away for 50 years and we don't know what's happened.
Unfortunately, though, she is compelled to answer. You have to answer. Yeah.
Theo is She's also honest, so she was
Yeah.
going to tell him anyway that she has family there and probably had pinged her trying to contact them, and she's worried that they might be dead if she can't reach them. So
He
she's worried
sighs and he
that.
says, yeah, this is complicated. And he looks at you, and he looks at the group. Um, he says, well, he says, you know, he said, this is a problem, huh? He said, I don't know.
It's
He said, I have no idea who your brother is. It's possible that he died in the battle. It's possible that he survived and fled.
When did the battle take place?
He tells you it took place hours ago.
Oof.
He said roughly 29 hours ago.
Okay.
He said, we built a very powerful portal. He said, I'm just going to tell you because otherwise, if you find out and this becomes a complication, I have to kill you. I'd rather know if I need to do it right now or later. But he says, we built, there's been a keep called Bloodgate Keep that I built 80 years ago, right outside of Daggerford. I built a portal large enough to send armies through. And some people decided that they were going to take it upon themselves to play heroics. And at the last minute, my portal was destroyed, which was very, 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 very inconvenient considering that I was leading the assault. Well, as you can imagine, this did not sit well with Sazum Tam and many others, especially considering that this took 80 years to build. So I am correcting that mistake. Many people died.
Good.
I was just going to look down at the ground.
Yep.
You get to the vault.
The spell wears off at this point. So
You get to-
he says, so do we have a problem?
No, just help us get to the vault and we'll do it.
He said, who knows? I can tell that you have some power within you. And by the way, the vault does hold all kinds of dangerous, amazing things. You find something you like, what do I care? Keep it, you go on your way. That'll be your payment.
You said there were other phylacteries in there besides his?
Yes. Yes, but I don't want you to mess with any other phylactery but Sazum Tam's.
But you said-
And you will know it when you see it because I'm going to give you an item that will help you identify it.
But you said we could do what we wanted with anything we found there.
Besides the phylacteries.
Okay.
Have you ever held a phylactery? Do you know anything about phylacteries? I think it's in your best interest to not mess with anything in there that even resembles a phylactery. And he will show you an image of what a standard phylactery can look like. And he puts up his hand and he does show you what looks like a very complex, very ornate pyramid style crystalline, almost like jar with a stopper at the end. And on the inside of that is a small growing green like ethereal ever changing like gem that keeps like phasing in and out of reality, and as it turns it looks like it's basically changing into different shapes. And he said, see, they look intricate, so you can't miss them.
It wouldn't look like the soul jar, would it, at all?
Look like what?
The soul.
Yeah, it did. That did look very intricate. It doesn't look anything close to the same as that, but yes, you could. It could be something like that, maybe. If you said something, it went out. Sorry.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone did. Umber's just going to be
Sorry, if
staring.
someone said something, my headphones just went out. Sorry about that.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Umber's just going to stare daggers at this guy, and he's just going to. He feels Theo tugging on his sleeve, but he's just.
He says, "So do we have an understanding?"
I don't think we have a choice. Unfortunately.
He said, "First and foremost, what was the plan here? You were just going to like wander around the desert?"
We're
He
going
says
to
the
try and
desert. The desert's not really good for your health.
This goes to show how little we know about this place, and how we weren't planning on getting here in the first place.
He said, "I could see that." Said, I do actually believe you, by the way. If you had been spies from Neverwinter or Luskin or any of the other major cities, I would have had to kill you right here. But now that we know that you're not, I'm hoping that you can be helpful.
Oh joy.
Now, understand that before that you go into the vault, I am going to erase any memory of myself from you. You will remember this man in white, and he brings out the man again. This is who gave you all of this information. You will not remember me. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you about that.
Are you sure that's in the best interest? Because you also gave us quite a bit of instruction.
No, he says you don't understand. I'm actually going to modify your memory. He's going to be giving all of that instruction to you, but it is too important to me that if you are captured, killed, raised, and worse, extracted, that my name cannot be on this at all. So.
No, you're not going to do that.
He says, okay.
The fact that you're, frankly, making a deal with strangers just goes to show how desperate you are to get this done. So you're going to do this, and you're going to do this without modifying our memory. We're not going to double cross.
You can see his eyes like glow, and you can tell, you can feel it, Umbra. You've never ever felt death magic before, but you can actually feel it siphoning within him. You can see his writhing anger, even though he doesn't have any skin to like show his thing. But he looks at you, Umbra, and calmly says, "Do you know what the spell Power Word Kill does to a body? Have you ever
Start
seen it?"
shooting to the left.
Have I ever seen it?
No, you haven't. You don't even know what the spell is. He's like he's like, and he basically says, "I can literally rip the soul from your body. And by the way, I could do it as an example. I can just take you out, and all your friends are now going to be really, really, really motivated to do what I want. Is that what we want?"
Sio's gonna step in front of Umbra. She's gonna be facing Umbra.
Yeah.
And she's going to look at him dead in the eye and say, "I've lost everything, and I'm going to be damned if I lose you too. So shut the fuck up."
I'm gonna.
He
Ooh, I'm
looks
gonna
at he looks
take
at
this back.
he looks at he looks at you, Sio, and he says, "And why do you think that you can just walk around with that book? I mean, I am being so kind by not ripping that from you, but you're in luck, because the truth of the matter is that that book is cursed. So we're just gonna have to see how things go down in the tomb. But the other thing that I want everyone to understand is that I'm honest. And the honest truth is that if you die, Tiefling, that book is mine. But for now, considering that I'm assuming you're going to use it to help yourself get through this, I'm going to allow you to keep it. But I am very, very, very interested in that book. But anyway, You are a
Oath
very
before.
wise woman. He does say you are a very wise woman. Tell your friend to shut up. And yes, no one will ever know my name was involved in any of this. And he said, it is fortunate that I do need this. I need you. And I think I need all of you. You're very, very fortunate. He said, this is going to not be easy. He says, I don't actually expect that you could ever take out a lich in general. He says, but he says, with all of you working together, I do expect you to be able to potentially still this phylactery. He said, after this is done, if you wish, I might even all have a drink with you, pay you, and you can tell me how you got all of these gifts and magic. And he looks over to everyone in the group and he says, it is, you're a bit mismatched and odd group and way more powerful than you should be. So at some point, maybe we can all chat about that. But for now, time is of the essence and I need this done.
Let's do it then.
Where do we meet your guide?
Does anyone have any questions? He said, actually, I'm going to be bringing the guide to you. And I will be giving you a means of travel to get there quickly. But do you have any questions for me before I wipe everyone's mind of my existence?
Yeah. Is there any other thing we should have or could have that would help? Considering our survivability is beneficial to you.
You said yes, but give me some specifics. Like, what are you asking for? I know you're asking for something to help you, meaning you want me to just give out a handout, which maybe, but you're gonna have to be very specific.
What?
Magical? I don't know. I deferred to your expertise on the matter of the Doom Vault and what may or may not be helpful in accomplishing your goals there.
What type of magic would be the most potent in the
We're gonna
vault?
yeah, if we're gonna be your instruments, at least will be the most effective ones.
He said, well, he said, you've convinced me. He said, sure. He said, to show my good faith in all of you and to show that I am willing to help, he says, I can give you a few items.
Like a nice magic sword to hit these creatures that we'll find with.
He does say, so, and he looks at you, Gretna, he says, I assume you have some kind of, healing, life, radiant, magic, something to those effects. He hands you a small wand, and he says, by all means, take this. And then he hands the group what looks like a large two-handed sword. These are all things he takes out of his robe, which he could never fit. He could never fit these items in his robe. And he effortlessly takes this out. This thing looks like it weighs like 50 pounds. It is a great sword. And he just throws it on the ground. He said, by all means, take these. He said, anything else?
What is this wand?
He said, you're strong. You know the ways of magic. You can figure this out.
Okay.
You're right, we can. Thank you for your help. It wasn't necessary, but I mean it wasn't necessitated, but it's appreciated. I have manners.
May we at least, well, have some sort of token of goodwill that we won't be killed on sight if we were to ever enter the city. She won't be eaten, I point to Pan. The least you could do.
He says, well, I was actually going to do this anyway for you. If you do wish to travel within the cities, he said, it's easy enough. And he says, do not resist me. I mean it. and he does a verbal and semantic component that everyone is completely unfamiliar with. And you have to let me know if you basically you have the ability to fail these checks. It is an intelligence saving throw, but he is asking you to fail it. If you roll, you have to let me know. Otherwise, you choose to fail.
Choose to fail.
Chris, I'm not gonna resist it, but my familiar is still far away. I'm gonna see if the owl can get out of sight and just write his name in the sand out of sight.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, and he won't be able to detect that. That's fine. Yep,
Excellent.
that's fine. Yep. So what he does is he puts a glowing tattoo on every single person's forehead. The tattoo looks like a very small, unless you resist it. If you resist it, though, you do have to tell me. Does anyone resist?
Nope.
All right, so everyone fails to save, and essentially, so the magic washes over you in a very small glowing tattoo. It looks like it looks like a very ornate, like Lich's face, and then it has a word above it in a language that none of you speak or understand. And he says, "No one is going to mess with you now." And he says, "So, wait here, don't leave, and in an hour, your guide will be here with means to take you to the Doom Vault." He says, and with that, and he snaps his fingers, everyone's memory is now modified to you thinking that you were talking to the man in white. And then he steps up and he says, "So we have a deal. Once you're finished, take this device," and he gives you what looks like a small medallion. And the medallion itself has what looks like a gem in it that actually rotates very slowly. And as the gem rotates, if anyone's ever seen what looks like a four-dimensional object in like a mathematical like a simulation, you notice that as it turns, it actually looks like it's different objects phasing in and out of reality. This medallion has the same thing on the inside of it, and as it slowly turns, it looks like it's phasing in and out, and it's actually changing shape or whatever. He said, "This is the key to the Doom Vault itself. Good luck." And he leaves with everyone else. Everyone basically walks 3 to 4 steps and then literally turns into dust and sand and just vanishes.
Oh shit, I was gonna ask what the tattoos say. Damn it.
I'll pick up the sword.
I can tell you. I
Yeah.
think I can anyway.
Oh.
And I activate my helmet.
Yeah, so if you activate your helmet and you go read on it, it does have the name of Sazam Tam on all of you. It has Sazam Tam's name like etched on you.
I wanted magical tattoos, but not like this.
Would Kiryu
It is on your
remember
forehead.
Do you know anything about what just transpired? Would his memories be
So
modified as well?
so Kirigi comes out and he says, "See, I am so good at hiding and being so powerful. He didn't even see me." He said, "See?" He said, "I am really powerful."
You
Now,
are.
Sio,
You're
if
so
you
impressive.
if you think about
Screw
this,
you.
you think that he might. I mean, it is kind of strange. Like, if he liked your book, why didn't he want a pseudo dragon? So it's kind of weird that he didn't mention your pseudo dragon. And then he'll explain to you that he has the ability to hide from powerful bad people like that, and he did a good job, a really good job.
Sio
Wow,
will
that's
just
impressive.
pet. Yeah, Sio's just gonna pet Kiri's head and kind of like situate him on her shoulder, and she's just gonna impulsively pet him.
He said, "Do you want to see how I did it?"
Not
Yes.
right now, Kiri,
Yes.
but if the others want to have at it, and she'll like take Kiri off her shoulder, let him kind of just float there and show everyone else, and Sio's gonna go off a ways and just sit and by herself.
Yep.
Can you
Yeah,
head
so
up?
he goes into the group and he sits down the thing on his little stone that you had, Gretna, and a very, very, very faint purple aura surrounds him. And he says, "This is how I do it. Look at me."
That's so neat.
Can you do that to other people? Or is it
No.
just yourself? Damn it.
Yeah, and just me.
So, huh. That's
He
why
said,
that guy couldn't
"What's?"
see you.
He telepathically says, "What's wrong with you, Mom?"
Kiri, I'm sorry, but I'll talk to you about it later, okay? I'm afraid you're.
He tells everyone in the group that his mom is sad, and everyone should like make sure that
Aw,
she's okay. He doesn't say this to you,
calls-
though, Theo.
He calls you
I
his
figured.
mom.
What the fuck you
I
just call
thought
her?
That's
I
so
thought it was a brave thing
Yeah,
you did.
he'll say it to you too, Erasmus. He By the way, he's never called you mom or mommy before. By the way, this is all brand new.
Pan's gonna sit by Theo and put an arm around her shoulders.
That was a brave thing you did back there.
Erasmus is
Thank
looking
you.
at the pseudo dragon. Hear the Kill Bill sirens going off.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna look through the eyes of my familiar to see, because it kind of disappeared from my view, to see where it is. Maybe seeing, I don't know if the name would still be there.
Oh well, you're gonna have to find it. It's like way out in the. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll have to find it. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well, like, would the familiar still be where the name was written, and then he just looks through its eyes and sees the name that it wrote?
I was gonna say I don't know exactly because it jumped out of view. I don't know where it jumped out of view to, so I'm gonna look through its eyes to kind of like
That's fine. If
figure
you
out my surroundings.
if you do that, you can see the name. Yeah, it'll stay there. That's fine.
okay. I'm gonna call it back to me and have it fly on my shoulder, and
And Kiri into a belt.
I'm going to open. I'm going to actually pull out my spell book, because it's just a jumble of papers, and they're all folded, and they're kind of like held together by this sort of band of like buckled leather. And I'm just going to open it, and in Abyssal, I'm going to write the name jumbled up, like not in the right order.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, basically, what he had told you guys, if it wasn't clear, is that whatever symbol you have on your heads now, people will respect it and not bother you. You can walk in the cities.
I hope
Would
this
it be
goes
possible?
away after.
Would it be possible for me to have
Yeah.
people on my shell?
No,
Damn it!
he doesn't give you an option.
Damn it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have it on your forehead. It wouldn't work
Ugh,
on your
the
shell anyway.
forehead.
You'll find out. But
I hate it on my forehead. I can't hide it.
Oh, to the Doom Vault, I guess.
now
We
he
have to
did say you
wait.
have to wait for like an hour until somebody comes to get you. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
Well, we have an hour. I figure we could probably start identifying these items because God knows what they are.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
we need another pearl though.
somebody identify the. I don't think you used the pearl up, do you?
It only lasts 3 hours.
Well, the
it only
problem,
lasts 3
yeah,
hours.
the problem
Yeah.
is it only lasts 3 hours, and to make another one, I would have had to have a long rest.
Which you got interrupted by.
Yes.
Yeah,
Going
you
back
need.
to sleep.
Yeah, you guys still don't have your long rest. So if you don't sleep at some point, you are going to unfortunately have exhaustion. So I guess the plan would be to wait until this person comes and then tell them you have to sleep at some point. But
Mhm.
unless
Why
you
don't
want to
we
go into
start
the vault
sleeping now?
exhausted.
Well,
Yeah.
Erasmus
Here.
did go to bed before anyone else. That's why he missed out on all the discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you would
What's
have
sleeping
a
now?
decent amount of sleep.
And you said it was 8 o'clock in the morning or at night?
No, this is just nighttime. Yeah. Yep.
All right, so let's get a little bit of sleep now. Someone take watch. If the person who's our guide shows up while we sleep, we tell them that we have to wait.
I'll stay up. Not tired.
Okay.
I'm not
Same
sure
here.
how much I can actually sleep. Wake me
I'll
for
go
one
back
of the
to sleep.
watches.
Okay.
Everyone's asleep.
Can I tell if the sword needs to be attuned?
Okay. All right. So after around 45 minutes or so, eventually what everyone is going to see is there's an obsidian-like device. It's big enough for it's big enough for the entire group. It almost looks like it's a sled driven by no animals or anything else. It's made of obsidian, a black, like reflective, like almost like glass-like stone. And basically you see this figure, pale figure, riding on this thing. And sure enough, she comes up and stops right next to you. And this is what she looks like. Oh man. Okay.
Chris, would it be possible while everyone's resting that Co tapped the items with her rod?
Yeah, definitely. You can do that. Yeah. Yep. Yep. The same effect happens, but nothing else special happens. And man, why is this not working? Here we go. This is what she looks like. So she does have the red she does have the red robes on. She does have a medallion with skulls on it. You can tell she has tattoos all over her face. She has no hair. It's probably makeup that she's wearing, but it's hard to tell for sure. If it is makeup, she's put it on really, really well. And she gets out of this obsidian-like sled, and she says, "Well, well, well, aren't we lucky?" She said, "You had a talk with the man in white, and we
Exactly.
understand why we're here."
We did.
I believe so.
She said, "Out of curiosity, which one of you are skilled in magic?"
I raised my hand begrudgingly.
I have
She
some
said,
knowledge.
She said, "Play your cards right. Maybe get in favor with these people, and maybe one day you'll be able to be liches as well."
I'm okay.
You can tell she's not a lich, by the way. She looks like she's alive and human.
I'm really alright. I have my own thing, and it's like, I don't know. Why do all necromancers do like the black and red and gold? Like, why don't you ever do like some cool rainbow stuff?
She says, "Excuse me?" She said, these are ancient robes from a civilization long past." She said, "You wouldn't understand. It's fine." She said, however, she said, "Do you have any questions before we go into the Doom Vault?" From myself.
Have you ever
I'm
been
here to
inside?
help.
Yeah.
I cannot go
we need to
inside, by
sleep.
the way.
We need
Have
to
you ever
sleep.
been?
We're tired and weak.
She said, well, she said, well, she said, are we going to sleep in the desert, or are you going to come back with me?"
Well, do you want to see some of my magic prowess you asked about?
She said, "Yes."
I start ritual casting Tiny Hut.
Okay.
You're welcome inside, but just this once.
She said no. She actually knows what. So if you're going to ritual cast Tiny Hut, she says, "Don't bother." She actually interrupts you. She says, "Just come with me. I have a much better place to sleep."
I don't even know your name.
She says, "Serana."
Serana.
She said, "Well," and she references everyone to come inside this obsidian sled.
I go inside.
Fine.
Okay.
And I just go to sleep.
My hut is pretty cool, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the sled is completely silent. It looks like it rises just above the sand. And as a matter of fact, when you step into it, it's almost like you feel just slightly weightless. And as you get in, it's much quicker than you expect. And it doesn't look like she's headed back towards the city. She's actually headed back in, like, deeper into the desert, but only after. If people do want to try to rest, they can. By the way, because this is going to be a little while. She'll even tell you that it's going to take a couple hours to get where she wants to go. Everyone that didn't sleep, are you going to try to sleep now?
Yeah.
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 Yep.
After I try to sneakily touch this thing with the rod and try and get my brother on the line again.
Yeah,
I'll
just
take
go
my
ahead.
rest.
Just go ahead and roll stealth, because that's going to be something that, you know, she's not going to love that. But at the same time, if you can do it in a way that she can't tell, that's
If
fine.
it
And you
disappears,
do get advantage because her back is turned away from you. She's piloting it.
Thank you.
I swear to God, if this disappears and we eat shit going 80 miles an hour through the desert,
We're all dead anyway, so what's the damage?
Yeah.
Nat 20.
It's nat 20 plus 4.
Okay. Yeah. So you do this pretty easily. You basically just find an opportune time and just tap the sled with the rod. It does light up and take the information, but that's it.
thank God.
And then she's going to try and get a hold of Vand again, but she's anticipating he's not going to respond.
So as you do that, you do get a muffled, and by muffled I mean a very quick response that says that he cannot talk to you right now, and that's it. But he wants you to know that he's alive.
And she will close her eyes, cry a little bit, and go to bed.
Okay. All right. So after what seems like maybe 2.5 hours of traveling through the desert, you guys actually come through grasslands, so it's no longer desert, and you see what looks like a large tower jutting up from rocks in these grasslands and other things. And she stops, and she actually has everyone get out, and I will show you what it looks like. She said, "You feel free to rest here," and she, as you guys look up this, like, even Erasmus, you're like, are you kidding me? Like, this is like literally just in the middle of nowhere. It looks incredibly impressive. You can't even believe it. She's implying this is hers, by the way. And this is what it looks like. Hold on.
Is this in game chat too again?
No, this is going to be in Discord. This one's going to be in Discord. So hold on. Okay. Here we go. It's big. I mean, it's a pretty big tower. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. There is water next to it as well, which seems like in general that's a nice like resource to have or next to it, because in the middle of a desert, unless there's grasslands, there doesn't seem to be a ton of water, and it's just rising out. This thing looks incredibly impressive. And she says, by all means, we can sleep here for the night if we have to. This is my tower. She said, see? Perks of being a red wizard.
Impressive.
He said, that's right. Death magic is impressive. They don't teach this to you in Faerun outside of here. They suppress magic like this.
You have talent, so why waste it on death magic?
She says, she turns to you and she says, necromancy is so much more powerful than you could possibly understand. Necromancy is the key to all magic. It is literally life itself, even though it doesn't seem like that should make sense. She
God,
said, someday maybe you'll understand.
I'm really holding back my honorary responses right now.
She said, someday you'll understand, maybe. Maybe if you're lucky enough.
Yes, one day I'll see the effects of a powerful necromancer, and everything will be clear, right?
She says, "Well, look. Does this look bad, evil? Does it look like you're a decaying dead zombie to you? No." She
Well,
said,
how
"You
long have
don't
you been
even. You
practicing
can't
it?
even begin to understand the weave like I do." Anyway, she puts
That's
you
not
up and
true.
she ignores you, Gretna, and she as you start walking up to it, it is actually even nicer than you. So first of all, it's got this coppery golden, like it's made of this coppery golden material. It looks like it is several stories tall. It looks way more pleasant than you would expect a necromancer or red wizard of Thay to have as a home, and you guys have no idea how powerful this wizard is, but surely if she created this in some way, she must be powerful. You don't, as a matter of fact, like you, some of you may have heard stories of wizard trials or whatever. This one does seem to be pretty impressive. But anyway, as you walk inside, all basically you see, and she'll explain this to you as well, is that you just see stairways going to one room. She says, "I actually control this tower completely. I control which rooms you enter, which rooms you don't, which paths open up to you, which paths confuse you." And she walks you right up to what looks like the most elaborate room you've ever been into. It has really nice silks and fabrics, and there's several beds in here. There's up to 10 beds in this one room, and you can use this for now as a base of operations to sleep and plan and do what you need to do. She said, if you need any other, she said, now I have work that I need to do. She said, if you need to leave the tower, just go downstairs. If you need to call on me, and she does give you a device. She explains that this is a sending stone, and that you can talk with her with it.
Do you have a smithy furnace?
She
To a
actually
library.
says no, she doesn't, and she doesn't actually have an easy way to get you one within the tower.
Fuck.
She said,
To a
however, if you
library.
need one, she said, we can go into town. There are even magical forges within
Well,
some of the towns.
Hey, did
let
you?
me ask you, ma'am, lady, have you ever seen this? And I take out the half pound of that super special, really tough rock that we found in
Yeah,
the Tomb of Horrors, and I present it to
yeah.
her.
She said she casts detect magic. You can tell she does this instantly, and she says, no. What does it do?
No idea. It's just really, really tough and malleable.
She does tell you, I can tell that the latest structure inside of this makes it semi-dangerous to work with, but well, she said, better you than me.
Yeah. Well, if it's semi-dangerous to work with, imagine how powerful a shield it will be.
Yep. She said, better you than me. But once you create the item, let me know. I'd like to see it.
To a
You
library.
Will.
You wouldn't happen to have that you could give us as a gift a pearl?
She said, yeah, she said yes. She said I could get you a pearl.
That would
And
be awesome.
she actually goes up to the room with you guys, and she actually fishes out several pieces of jewelry, and she actually gives you one of the largest pearls you've seen. She said, this is real. She said, take it.
Do you have sugar here?
Thank you so much.
Pan, can you make one
She
this
said, I
big?
do, but she said you're gonna have to stay here for me to get it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll see it. No, I'll
And
go
and
wherever the sugar is.
and actually another door does open up within that room, and she goes through that door, and she's gone for like 10 minutes, and she brings back 8 crystal vials, which by the way look very, very impressive and look like they're actually worth something. She hands them to you like they're worth nothing to her, and she says, here, real, actual, refined sugar. And
Umbra, open your mouth.
and
Umbra, open your mouth.
yeah, and she does give you 8 vials. The vials hold around a half a pound of sugar total, if you were to put them all out. But yeah,
I just like Salt Bay a little bit of sugar into Umbra.
Well, into me? What?
Open
I'm
your
not taking
mouth.
necromancer sugar. No,
I throw
no,
sugar
I
at
don't
your
know.
face.
I don't even
Come
know
on,
this is sugar.
there's got to be at least one wizard who gets sugar high. You got to do it. Channel your inner Henri.
Open your mouth. This is better than
I'm
the
gonna
Snort it!
smell it. I'm gonna smell it first. I don't
You a
trust
line.
It smells like nothing. Just lick it.
it. Just give me a little bit. I don't know what this is.
I just start. I like flick it on you.
Just give it. Let me just try a little bit.
Okay, but I'm keeping the other 5.
They're doing that.
Yep.
Theo will walk closer to the Red Wizard and ask if she has a library that peruse and bring a book or 2 back.
She said, no. She says, I'm not letting you access to my library. Sorry. Maybe after you've done good work and we could trust you, maybe, but my library is not for the likes of you. I'm sorry.
I'll
So I can't
yes.
even make a request.
She said, what kind of book do you want?
A history book.
A current book on pantheons of gods.
A magic book.
She said, I don't really see the harm in something like that. I might have something around. She said, well, listen, I'm busy right now, but when I come back, I'll look through something and see if I can get you something.
What are you
And she
busy
looks
with?
at you, Theo, and she says, you seem like a smart girl. She said, look at all this power. You're not even just a little bit intrigued.
I am.
And she looks over at you and she says, I've heard that Faerunians have stories of evil red wizards of Thay. But does this look like evil magic? Does this look like dark, evil, defiling magic to you?
No.
Yes, it does.
It's not. This is true magic. This is the source of all true magic. She said, but I'll let you think on it. And she says, before I leave, does anyone else need anything? Food? Anyone need food?
What kind of food?
I mean, I'll have if you're offering. What kind of food?
I like sweets.
She
I have cinnamon rolls.
she does one of those other semantic like things with her hands, and a small door opens up, and in the small door comes out 4 what look like rock gnomes, and the rock gnomes come out with literal food trays that have different things like sweets and actually gourmet food and other things. And she's like, it's on me, whatever. And she walks downstairs. And the rock gnomes say, hurry, hurry, hurry. They look like they're a little distressed. They want you to take it quickly. And then the rock gnome behind them says, come on, the door's
They start
closing, come on.
stuffing my face with sweets, just like
So they let you take it and they run, they beeline and the door closes.
They're really good, guys. You should
Triton
Wait,
Cockeye.
let me.
Yeah. No Triton. No Triton. She was.
It's got to be fresh.
Yeah.
Turtle soup?
Erastus, I give you back the vial and it's completely empty.
Yeah.
There you
It's.
go.
I mean, if that's the
Your,
first time.
your
obviously,
pupils
you
are a
didn't
little
trigger,
wide.
It's like yeah. It's like utterly amazing. As a matter of fact, you haven't really even had spices. So like any of this food, just like when the presentation happened, like you would be like already. By the way, Umbra, already I imagine. I mean, you've seen now a freaking wizard's tower with like an oasis with an actual clear sky, even though there's a dome on top of you. This is like heaven to you. You're like, Faye's not that bad. Like this is like absolutely heaven from where you were from. So yeah.
I don't like necromancy, but I
Storm
really like
on.
this tower. I really
Yeah, it doesn't
like.
mean you need to like any of that. I'm just saying from a perspective of like you weren't totally sure how much a better life would be outside. You are already internally like, holy shit, this is so much better. And if Philip was here, Philip is here, he's just on autopilot, he would be the same way. He'd be like, this, I'm
Phil-
in fucking heaven. Like you guys are in Thay, and to you it's heaven. So
Philip has been keeping his
Yeah.
mouth closed with the
Yeah.
fangs from Vecta not showing to anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this would literally be heaven to you guys. I mean, and that just goes to show you how bad Tovag is, because this is one of the worst places in all of Faerun, and this is heaven. So, but yeah.
All right, maybe it's not all bad, but I mean, I'm deeply conflicted. But it's the food's good and the shoes.
Magic
Could
in the
somebody
right
identify
hands.
the sword?
and the wand, and I'm going to sleep.
I will use 2 first level spell slots to cast Identify twice.
Yep. So this is this will act as a +2 implement or holy. Like as soon as you attune to this, it's going to transform to basically a holy symbol of Tyr, and this will actually work as a +2 holy symbol implement to cast.
That's a weird sword.
And then the sword,
No, that was the
if you
wand.
identify it, yeah, that's the wand. The sword, if you identify it, is a +1 great sword. That's all it says it does. It's just extra sharp, and it cannot get dirty. It's gleaming. It's a little lighter than it's supposed to be, but it is a +1 great sword. Do you attune to it?
I attune to the
Um,
wand, absolutely.
And
Do
do you
you-
attune to the sword?
Well, I'm going to ask if anybody else wants. I mean, I'm not going to just take it.
Yeah, that's
but-
fine. That's fine. Who wants the sword?
So I mean, this is exactly what we came out here for. Congratulations.
Now we go back into a tomb.
No,
after
no,
we
no.
got it.
Okay,
Well-
keep your eyes on me as I tune it.
I mean, I think that he wouldn't want the phylactery if he didn't want to do something bad to it.
Or I have a
Want to
remove
control
curse.
power?
Yeah.
Do you normally attune +1 weapons?
It depends. It totally depends. Yes, it completely depends.
Well, I'll try.
All right. So all you have to do is spend an hour with this thing. That's all you have to do. So once you attune to it, you cannot let it go. By the way, you're not going to be able to drop this.
Uh-oh.
What is it
Okay.
with Mac and
That's
not
not
being able to
me.
drop things?
That's
The
not
same thing
me.
goes for you, Gretna. You're not going to be able to drop this holy symbol. It's going to be you have it for maybe ever, but
Okay.
Is it in our hand, or can we sheath it? Or put it
Quick,
in our
put on the
bag?
armor.
so let me put it this way. You are actually able to, as long as it's on your person, I should say. It's not like you can't take it out of your hand. I'm sorry. As long as it's on your person, in your bag, close to you, you're fine. If not, you are going to freak out and make sure that you have it on you at all times. So it doesn't stop you from sleeping or anything like that, but you have to have these items. They are compelled to be with you.
Works for me.
And these are things that you know. You can say this to other people, but these are it's not like it's unknown to you that this is happening.
And that's just to cast the spell attack. It's not the save or anything like that, right?
It just counts as a +2 implement.
Okay.
And if it has anything else, I guess we'll find out. So
Okay, fine.
As we're all just milling about, Co is, shocker, going to touch the rod to the bricks because she doesn't know if this whole place is going to register
Yeah.
as magic.
no, that's fine. The side of the side of the thing. Yeah, the staff
Just the
does
ring.
actually. Yeah, the staff lights up, but that's all it does. As if it's taking information out.
Does Kiryu see anything abnormal about this place? Anything we need to be wary of?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if so Kirigi has been using his special ability to not be detected by the and during that time it cannot, like, you're gonna have to physically like touch it and like show it. It can't see out or anything like that while it's doing this. It's still doing it. It doesn't Kirigi doesn't know that it's not time to not do it.
No, that's okay because I don't know if we're being. Yeah, wherever Kirigi is, I'm going to.
He would be like in your
Gently-
clothes and your robes or whatever. He's like hiding.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna take a seat on the bed, throw my pack up, and then kind of finagle it so Kiri's concealed by the pack, and
Yep.
case scenario we're being watched. And I'm gonna kind of just rouse him by my hand and ask him telepathically if he can just take a quick gander around the room, see if there's anything we need to know.
He said, "Is it safe? Is it safe for me to stop doing my cool stuff?"
Well, I'm trying to shield you as best I can with my pack and with my cloak, so it's as safe as we can be together.
Okay.
But you're a very smart boy for staying concealed the whole time.
Yep. So he goes to look around, but then he gets back in the thing and he hides again. He tells you that there are at least one of those eyes, but he thinks there's lots of those eyes in this room. But he goes back and he hides.
Okay. And I'm going to immediately tell him to hide himself again and
Okay.
just start pulling stuff out of my pack, looking like I'm organizing it.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and just coax Kiriji back into my cloak.
Okay.
Pray.
Yeah, it looks like you are being watched. It does look like you are being watched.
I will take out my book. I'll scratch Van's name out and Gretna's family member's name out, and I'm going to put Umbra, Gretna, and Erassus's name into the book. I'm going to tell them, don't say anything out loud. We're being watched again by those scrying eyes Umbra mentioned. Cautious of what you say. Act like you didn't hear this. And then I'll scratch their names out, tell the rest of the group as well.
Okay. All right. That's smart. Yep. Okay. And that's where we'll leave it. When we will start off next time, hopefully going into the Doom Vault.
Boy.
Excellent.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
out of one
the Doom
tomb
Vault, by
into
the
another
way, is
tomb?
very, 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 very different from the Tomb of Horrors. It'll be fun. But yeah.
We basically went to a Hilton Garden Inn.
Well, the funny thing is that this is what I get from making this all random. But like that Fae thing is like such a big arc in something else. But now it's a random fun encounter with something else. But yeah, it's good stuff for me.
What could go
Keeps me
wrong?
on my toes.
What could go wrong?
Yep.
God, and then Daggerford.
No.
Yeah, by the way, that is the canon thing that happens. It does happen right outside Daggerford. This is a very famous thing, by the way. The Bloodgate Keep is very, very famous. So even if you Googled it, you'd see it. But yeah, it's a real thing that happened.
I could just see Group A. Oh man, we finally figured out everything in Icewind Dale. Let's go home. Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is happening at the same time, by the way. You're very, very close to on par with their timeline. So this is all happening around the same time.
I mean, I'm not allowed back in my hometown, so.
Neither am I.
Yay!
I'm eating a cinnamon roll, going to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam, I gotta get up really early, so I'll catch y'all next week.